Hello, 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 everyone. What is going on? James here, Jimmy C, and I'm back once again with Mr. Scott.
Hello.
So, today, as you can tell by the title, we are looking at tier listing a shit ton of films. Now, I don't watch a lot of animated films myself nowadays, so I've just sort of put stuff that I've watched myself. I've watched a few, I think the most recent animated films I've watched are Lightyear and the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's it. I haven't, and Puss in Boots 2 Last Wish. So I guess I've watched 3 in recent years, but that's still not a massive amount compared to other people.
Yeah. So
Let's do
Puss
it
in
then.
Boots 3, goated film.
But
Puss in Boots 2.
yeah, so we've got a lot of. So this is how I rank them: goat, amazing, great, good, average, bad, trash, whale poo, and worst of all time.
But the fact that there's a tier named after, I can imagine where Shark Tale's going.
But yeah, and worst. These are 2 new ones, to be honest. I thought as we got Shark Tale on here, I might as well use a bit of Sykes' tier listing himself, what he does with his tier listing.
Yeah.
So Shrek number 1, I think it's great. I think it's a great movie. It really kicked off DreamWorks with 3D animation. Good fun,
Yeah.
good camaraderie between Donkey and Shrek, and it's a nice, parody of Disney films. Like he wipes his ass with the fairy tales at the what a load of somebody once told me. That's just such
the classic
opening.
opening.
Such a legendary intro. Farquaad's a pretty alright villain. Fiona's a nice new take on a princess. How she looks like a princess, but she farts and burps and blows up snakes and blows up birds with her singing and all that jazz. So pretty good banter. The perfect woman for Shrek.
Yep, indeed.
And the soundtrack absolutely slaps as well.
It does.
Right, so now Shrek 2. Thing is, we go from there's only actually going to be, for me anyway, I don't know where you want to put Shrek 2, but there's only a few films I'm going to put in GOAT. Shrek 2 for me would be high-end amazing, personally.
I could see that.
Would you want it to go in GOAT, or are you alright with it staying here? Or
I'm alright with it staying there. It is still very good. But
yeah, I mean, quick, easy watch, funny, amazing jokes. Also, another good soundtrack. Fairy Godmother slaps as a villain. Harold's arc's really interesting, with him being like, oh, she can't marry an ogre. But he obviously ended up being a frog himself. And he actually tries to get Shrek killed, which is pretty mad. But
it's definitely an extreme.
Yeah, he could just pay him a load of money to go away or something. I'm guessing Shrek wouldn't accept it, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah, got Fairy Godmother was great, as I say. Some great action scenes. I Need a Hero, bro. I never thought I'd care about that song.
I Need a Hero scene, yeah.
I never thought I'd care about that song, but man, they made it work very well there. And I actually felt sad when a big giant gingerbread man died.
Oh yeah, Mongol, was it?
I think it's Mongo or something. I can't remember. The way Shrek said it sounded like he was saying Mongo.
Yeah, it might be Mongo.
But yeah, rest in peace to that giant gingerbread man.
Yep.
Well, now on to... Oh, dear. It's really close between bad and trash. I don't know where to put Shrek the Turd.
I want to say bad because there's at least a couple of decent jokes.
Yeah,
like the one where Donkey is in Puss's body and tries to do these cat eyes, and the guards pull their weapons on him.
Yeah, I guess that one was pretty good.
Yeah, but for the most part, no, it's not great. So I would put it in either I would put it as bad just because it does have 1 or 2 decent jokes.
And the scene where Shrek's sitting by Arthur in the by the fire. And
it also has a couple of decent, heartwarming moments. Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of says to him, "Look, people used to think I was a monster and all that jazz, but then you you learn to ignore all the names people call you, and you start just respecting who you are.
Yeah.
That was a really good scene, but the rest of it was just trash. It was well, not trash. It was bad, and as you said, a couple of good jokes here and there. Surprisingly, I do find some of the immature jokes quite funny, like when he's scratching Shrek's arse, he's like, there we go, and then the whole building falls down. For some reason, I still find that kind of funny. Even though it's objectively just immature, daft fart humor, I don't know. It just makes me laugh a bit. But yeah, I mean, there was some weird things like geographically. I know it's not a real world universe film, but like they go to Worcester, and that like Worcester's by the sea. When it's not, it's like it's well into land. So I know this is a fantasy world that Shrek sets up, but that they should have used a different town, like I don't know, like Devon or something. Devon's got places by the sea.
Yeah.
Worcester's got nowhere by the sea, unfortunately. What else was crap? Charming was a rubbish villain. They should have just used somebody else.
Charming, his strength is definitely not as main villain.
Yeah,
That's
just
for sure, yeah.
solid henchman. And that performance he did at the end, familiar. That was what the hell is going on?
He's just a theater kid.
Yeah.
As you said, that's to insult the theater kids.
Some very But I did, talking of the few good scenes, I did like the bit where Shrek walks into the high school and they're playing on the trumpets. Oh
yeah, when he walks in and they're announcing the winner of the mascot outfit.
That's it, yeah. So I like the trumpet bit, but then it's followed with a rubbish joke with him saying, yes, so let's beat the team at whatever it is they are doing. And I'm just thinking, bloody hell, weak writing, man. Apparently it was actually originally meant to be about them sort of like getting rid of the monarchy and just actually making a government, because Shrek doesn't like being king in the story. So instead of sailing somewhere to get Arthur, played by Justin Timberlake, who didn't do a good job at voice acting, in my opinion. Instead of getting him, they would have just made the film about like, trying to get some leaders in charge, which would have probably been a bit too serious for a Shrek film, but I think it would have been better than traveling to Worcester and fart jokes and bloody nonsense and familiar and all that crap.
Yeah. To be fair, Shrek does still like cover some good character stuff, but yeah, Shrek's at its best when it's not that serious, or at least the stakes are more in like okay, I'm drawing a blank, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like when the stakes are a bit lower, maybe.
Yeah, stakes are a bit lower and more stakes for the characters than actual like major things.
Yeah, because I guess that would be high stakes are far, far away. I don't know. Maybe they could have just skipped to Shrek 4. Maybe they could have just handed the crown over to Lillian or something and just said, look, you do whatever the hell you want with it.
Yeah, they could have done that.
Now on to Shrek 4. The thing is, a lot of people have poo-pooed it for being like, it's just none of it actually happens. It's all just a dream and all that jazz. But I don't know. Like the thing is, it technically is a dream. But if Shrek didn't beat Rumpelstiltskin, it wouldn't have been a dream. It would have been reality, and you would have had this little evil dictator taking over the world. So I think it's a great film.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty good as well. Yeah, and like, as you could say, like it was all a dream thing, but I don't really think it was, because obviously there was still a stake. There was actually a magical contract. Normally, when they do the "it was all a dream" pull, the character just wakes up in their bed after it, and that, you know what I mean. But
and
for this one,
legendary...
it did get fixed at the end because the contract got fulfilled.
Yeah,
there was still actual stakes for Shrek there.
Of course, because in the other ones, I know we mentioned it's good when stakes aren't that high, but I feel like in Shrek films, but I feel like this one does high stakes, right? Because in the previous ones, he could just walk away, basically. I mean, in the first one, he could just live at his swamp forever after the fairy tale creatures have left. In the second one, he could just let Fiona marry Charming and walk off. I guess it would have been a bit sad. She would have been mind controlled by Charming and all that nonsense with that love potion. But still, at the end of the day, he could have just walked off. It's not like he's going to get shot or anything by the fairy godmother's magic wand. But
Yeah.
yeah, so he could have walked off, but in this one he can't because at the end of the day he's going to become Thanos and vanish out of existence.
Yeah, exactly. Like in this one, he can't just walk away.
Yeah, but I was going to say I do like how Fiona is in this one though. How she's so strong and tough, and she's like the thing is
Yeah.
I was in that castle for ages. Where the fuck were you, for God's sake? Oh, like it was so
Yeah.
miserable and lonely in there. We actually see because in the first one, no one really bats an eyelid at Fiona being stuck in a castle for like 20 odd years. But in this one, it's actually sort of delved into, and she was waiting for that Prince Charming, and Prince Charming never showed up.
Yeah.
Well, the original Prince Charming probably got sat on by the dragon, and then, well, Shrek wasn't there to rescue her, so.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that the actual Prince Charming was getting past the dragon. Let's just rip that band-aid off now.
Yeah, she's way too tough. The thing is, the only reason Shrek got through was because Donkey wooed her, so.
Yeah. Indeed.
But here we have the first Puss in Boots next.
I'd say it's average.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thing is, it just felt like a weird generic bog standard adventure film, but with Puss in Boots slapped onto it.
Yeah,
I guess there was a bit of conniving and scheming with Humpty Dumpty, which was okay. The villains are pretty much nothing. Weren't they just trying to go and get the golden egg?
Yeah, they were looking for the goose to lays the golden eggs. Yeah.
So
I believe the true plan of Humpty there was to use the goose's mother to destroy the town.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Why was he like that?
I don't remember the full thing. I think it's because he got locked up for robbing a bank or something.
Oh.
It's been a long time since I watched Puss in Boots 1. But, yeah. Let's see. Humpty wasn't, like, the greatest guy. To be fair, part of that was due to, he had an obsession with, finding the beanstalk, even as a kid, and he did get bullied a lot.
Oh, poor dude.
But, yeah, but they make a point of, as Puss and Humpty grew older, Humpty basically became more of, he kept getting put in jail, and Puss had to keep bailing him out.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he kind of became a bit of a bell end.
Well, average, decent film, I guess.
Yeah, average overall.
Now on to one that absolutely slaps.
And you immediately dropped it in average.
that was an accident, but
yeah.
Imagine if I did put it below this film. There'd be
God.
anyone...
If you did, we are throwing hands next time we meet. If you put it below the first one, I swear to God. Right, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Honestly, I would say either high average to maybe GOAT, because it's very good.
Yeah,
there's a lot to like about this movie.
Indeed,
the art style is a massive improvement from the first.
Yeah, I like how they do that lower framed animation, like they do with the Spider-Man verse films.
Yeah, soundtrack was pretty goated. Characters, each one had their own motives and personalities, and you could kind of root for most of them. I say most because Jack Horner.
You kind of root for him because he's hilarious. He's just a funny.
Oh yeah, Jack Horner is fucking. He's so funny. I honestly miss the era of villains who were just assholes.
Yeah.
Is nowadays a lot of people are doing the villain is just like someone who needs to be redeemed because of hard life. So it's nice to see. It's refreshing to get a villain who is just a monster.
Yeah, he had a great life. He's like, oh yeah, I had a fantastic life, a fantastic upbringing, fair bit of cash, all this jazz. Yeah, amazing. I'm just evil.
The thing is, we get all of the villain tropes in this movie. Jack Horner is the just bad for the sake of being bad, villain, who is basically just a straight monster. Then you got Goldilocks, who's the kind of sympathetic one. You know what I mean? In a way, it's we know she wants she wants a family, but it's also one of those she doesn't quite realize that she's already got it. She's basically the found family thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we have Death. probably the most one of the most intimidating villains, who is just a complete force of nature. You know?
For sure. Thing is, if I saw most DreamWorks villains outside, apart from obviously the really OP ones like Tai Lung and ones who unrealistically fight, if I saw like Jack Horn outside, I think, oh man, I can take this dude with my jug or whatever. If I get some weapons, I can whoop him. But if I saw Death outside, that face, my god, I'd bloody shit a brick. I'd be so terrified, man.
Definitely has like 5 minutes of screen time in the whole movie, yet he changes the aura, like the air of the scene every time he shows up.
Definitely,
like from the first meeting onward, every time he shows up, the entire like scene changes. Like they did a good job of actually making the audience get afraid of this guy.
For sure. I mean, the dude, and the thing is, his only motivation is to get Puss in Boots, get him with his final life.
And even then, his motive is kind of justified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was a douche, wasn't he? Who is your favorite fearless hero?
And we just got copyrighted. Yeah, no, because as he even says himself in the movie, he finds the idea of 9 lives absurd, and Puss didn't value any of them.
Yeah.
So it makes even his motive makes sense why he's after Puss.
And then at the very end, how Puss beats him is just by being humble and being prepared.
Yeah, Puss actually learns to what it means to value a life, so Death lets him go. And I do like that in that part, even though Puss knocks Death down, Puss admits he can't defeat him, which is good because I feel like a lot of movies who are doing this thing suddenly have the main character just beat Death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's in this one, Puss admits you can't beat Death.
He's too good, man. He knows your every move, and he's indestructible.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I do like that. After Death says he's basically gonna let Puss go, Puss breathes a sigh of relief that shows that the fear is still there.
Yeah.
Which is again it's a nice little touch. There's a lot of subtleties.
And the anxiety attack was done really well.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. You can't talk about Last Wish and not talk about the honestly realistic depiction of an anxiety and panic attack. Which a lot of media surprisingly get very wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, major props to Puss in Boots Last Wish for actually being able to show a depiction of a proper panic attack properly.
Yeah, and it's nice how the dog actually calms him down. It really...
yeah, I'm so glad they didn't have Preto make a joke there, rub my belly or something. I'm glad that they actually played it completely straight. Because that is probably one of the worries is, are they going to have Preto do a dumb joke here of, oh, this is a chance to rub my belly or something? Yeah. But now they played the scene straight, which they should have, and it became probably one of the best scenes in the movie for it.
For sure. And I'll just quickly mention a film that did it completely wrong. Iron Man 3. The panic attack wasn't too bad itself. It resembled it decently, but then he's like, oh, me, how can I have that happen? And then he ends up giving his address to, terrorists. It's what? On live telly? What? This dude isn't suffering with severe anxiety. He's just a bloody mentalist. That film was not very good anyway, but I just thought I'd bring up a bad example of it.
I think just shows. The idea that they were trying to go with for Iron Man 3 was he has PTSD, but I don't know if they depicted it properly or not.
Didn't seem to be done very well.
Yeah. Iron Man 3 is definitely one of the weaker, pre-Endgame, MCU movies.
Yeah.
I have to say pre, because obviously the MCU's gone massively downhill after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of, a couple of movies here or there, the bulk of it is pretty shit.
Yeah, true. But yeah, Puss in Boots, amazing. I really like the bit as well where you see how Soft Paws is so pissed off for a lot of the film, but then you find out she didn't even roll up to the wedding as well. She was like, I didn't go. You know,
I like how
good twist.
You can kind of debate if whether she was just saying that to make Puss feel better or she actually didn't show up. They don't make it clear which one it is. Because remember she overheard Preto and Puss talking after Puss's panic attack. So you could easily just so you could make an argument of she just said that to make Puss feel better about it, or she
Maybe.
actually didn't just show up. But who knows?
I guess it's just down to the viewer, I
Yeah,
guess.
but that's part of the fun though. Is they yeah the yeah, it's part of the fun though. Is like they don't make it completely obvious, like which one it is.
True. But now on to Toy Story number 1. I'll put it here, to be honest. Oh, you want to put in Go?
Oh no, I didn't say go.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Go then. Yeah, I'll put it around here. I know some people love it and think it's the best thing ever, and they're like
I
1994.
watched
Look at
it
its
somewhat
animation.
recently, and it's still good, but the animation is a little dated by today. But it's
just sort
still
of think-
good.
I mean, I personally really do enjoy it, but I just think the story's not as good as the other two, and not even as good as amazing as these two
I
films.
respect it for what it did, because obviously it was one of Pixar's like first major movies. And to be fair, with Pixar and DreamWorks, they're two studios that are known for having some of the best, but also like their quality, like Pixar's quality as a whole is so high that whenever they have a movie that's like mediocre to okay, everyone immediately says Pixar is dead for some reason.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. They hold them to. I'd get why they hold them to such high standards, but they've got a sort of. You got to.
You're
set
not
your
going to have a hit
expectations, haven't
every
you?
single time.
Yeah.
And even when Pixar has a miss, their worst is still better than a lot of studios' best.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, just because they had, Ratatouille, Up, Wall-E, Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Toy Story
They have
2,
a really strong lineup, so I can understand the quality talk. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Like, because that always annoyed me a bit. It's like when Pixar gets like a mediocre to okay movie release, everyone's a bit like Pixar is dead. And it's like they had like, you're not gonna get a hit every time. They've had just like one hiccup here or there, which it's gonna happen.
It's the same with a lot of media. It's like at the end of the day, Oasis's best songs, the Beatles' best songs, etc. If music was so easy to make, everyone would be making good music. If films were if good films were so easy, then every film would be like as good as the Toy Story 2.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
easy. It's very, very hard. Like you have to get the voice acting correctly, the animation well, the story.
And when it comes to DreamWorks don't have that issue that Pixar does of if they have a mediocre movie, people start saying they're dead in the water. But I think a part of that is because DreamWorks from the get-go has been hit or miss. Like when they get a hit, it's a hit, but when they get a miss, it is a miss.
I guess because of that, it sets people's expectations a lot more. Like people are like, oh well,
it's basically like a coin flip when you go into a DreamWorks movie. It's either going to be hot garbage or it's going to be good.
Like I thought Puss 2 was just going to be average. I thought it was just going to be exactly the same as the first one.
No one was expecting Puss in Boots 2 to be as good as it did. And honestly, considering it was a sequel to Puss in Boots 1, it had no right being as good as it was. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I just wanted to quickly wrap up with Toy Story 1, though.
Yeah.
It's fun seeing Buzz and Woody and the universe that's made and all the toys having a laugh. But I like how much of an idiot Woody is in it because he redeems himself. But I just find the story I don't know, it doesn't feel that grand compared to the first one. I guess they've got to catch up to the truck at the end and everyone's having a big misunderstanding and it's quite epic. And we're falling with style.
So I don't know if you heard about this, but for Toy Story 1 originally, Woody was supposed to be a much harsher character.
Yeah.
Like he was fucking mean if you look at the original storyboards. I think if you look at the original storyboards, Woody was basically like a fucking tyrant of the toys in the room.
Damn.
Yeah, and it the censors even I think told them to tone him down because it was So if Woody has his asshole moments in the first movie, remember this is the toned down version. He was a much worse guy in the original.
Yeah. I mean, I guess him being as weird as he is in the first one is a bit more redeemable than him being an absolute mentalist.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed.
And you get why he's so pissed off because it's like he's Andy's favorite toy.
Used to being the favorite toy, yeah, and now suddenly it's kind of like when you're the only child and then suddenly you get a new sibling that gets the attention.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
when you're not if you're not used to it, then yeah.
Mm. Well, anyway, now on to Toy Story 2, and we all know where this is going.
Yep.
Ba-bam! I
Toy
mean,
Story 2 is honest. It's so good. It,
yeah,
it basically expanded and built on what the first one did, but better.
for sure.
Like for example, we actually got to see a toy store and how that operates.
And Al's a legend, man.
Yeah,
I can't believe I
Al's a
gotta go all the
legend.
way to work on a Saturday, all the way to work, and he's just driving across
Yeah,
the road.
it's across the street.
Legend.
That's probably the funniest part. Like one of the funniest parts of that is like he's complaining about having to go to work, and it is literally across the street.
I know a lot of people like that in real life, to be honest.
I mean, yeah.
They're like a 2-minute walk away from work or a 1-minute walk, and they're like, oh, you know, I'm so tired, I'm late.
Yeah.
It's funny though. It is quite funny.
Also, Jesse is actually an example of I think of like PTSD kind of done right.
Yeah.
But that's more something shown in, I don't know how much it's shown in the second one, but I know it's shown a bit in the fourth one and maybe the third one. But
Well,
whenever she gets because we know she was just abandoned,
Mhm.
and obviously she's got issues from that. Shown like whenever she has the idea of like being put back in storage or back in a box, she starts to have a panic.
Mhm.
But also, like, I like that we get info on Woody as well. Like, we get like I said, we learn about like the Woody's Roundup, all the like merchandise and toys he's a part of, and also like so I don't think it's ever actually said in the movie, but I think it's been confirmed by like director notes or whatever that Woody belonged to Andy's dad
Oh.
and was passed
Damn.
down to Andy. And Woody is actually, and the reason like Al was making such a big deal about finding him is there is literally only one Woody toy
Shit. I
that
never
actually
knew.
got made before the show went under.
Very shocked.
Yeah, so that's why Al was making such a big deal about finding Woody for the collection, because Woody is actually a collector's item. He
That's
is
really-
a very rare toy.
Damn.
But like I said, the movie doesn't show that as much, but the director notes confirmed it, so that's cool.
I love how at first I was like, oh, I'll give you 50 cents for all this junk. And then she's like, it's not for sale. Come on, please. My wife.
Yeah.
And then he just straight up robs it all.
Yeah, she straight up robs her. Yep.
The
And then, of course, there's Stinky Pete, the twist villain of the movie.
prospector.
Yeah, the prospector. Who, to be honest, twist villain, I think he kind of works.
Mhm.
Because you understand why he's the way he is, like, and why like he wants to go to the museum thing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to just be chucked in the rubbish bin like everyone else.
Yeah, well, as he said himself, like he basically was stuck on the shelf watching every other toy get picked and played with.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can understand why. So I feel like the twist doesn't. It's not like some twist villains where it literally feels like it just came out of nowhere.
True.
There's a lot of twist villains. It does feel like they just come out of nowhere with no actual like prior build up.
Yeah. But yeah, Toy Story 2, goated. All right, Toy Story 3. People might, I don't know if it is goat or if it is like amazing or where I put.
I think it's better than the first one, but not as good as the second. It's a good final to the story, but then Toy Story 4, which continued the story, so that knocks it down a bit.
Thing
Like,
is,
hang on.
I was going to say I'll probably put it behind these two, just
Oh,
ever so
definitely behind those
slightly,
two.
just so slightly.
Yeah, I mean the ending to Toy Story 3 is still very good, and like I say, it as an ending to the story of like Woody and Buzz and the gang, it was a good send off, and then we got the fourth one, which kind of impacts the ending of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just
For sure.
like regardless of how you feel about the fourth one or not, the fact that it exists depowers the ending of 3.
Yeah, because Andy gives the toys away to that. Is it? What's the name? Is it Bonnie?
Yeah, Bonnie. And Woody's last like so long partner could easily have been like him saying goodbye to the audience as well.
Yeah.
So I said, as a send off, if 4 hadn't happened, I feel like it would be hard because the ending would have kept its power.
Mm-hmm.
But because the fourth one exists, the ending loses a bit of that from
Yeah.
it.
I will try and watch the fourth one eventually because I heard it's pretty damn good.
The fourth one's all right. Yeah, like I like the fourth one, and I feel like it gets a lot of unneeded hate. It does obviously have some issues.
Mm.
For instance, they really dumbed down Buzz's character in it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably one of the big complaints I see people have with the fourth one is if they really dumb down Buzz's character. It's one you'll have to watch the movie to understand how, but now it feels like he just became a bit of a moron in this movie. Which
I mean,
okay, if he was set like that from the beginning, fair, but no, Buzz is one of the more intelligent members of the gang.
but once he finds out he's not a Starship bloke, yeah, he becomes quite smart.
Exactly, yeah. But we get a good send off, like again for Woody, But so one of the main plot things for Toy Story 4 is Woody is basically not being played with by Bonnie, but everyone else is. So he's kind of feeling a bit neglected, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, it was like, so it was Bonnie's like first day at like the next grade up from preschool, whatever it is, right? So she was very nervous. So Woody snuck into her bag to like, I guess to be like an encouragement thing.
Mm-hmm.
And while she was there, she made her own toy called Forky out of some random bits she had, like a plastic fork, some what's it called? Like the bendy like metal wire with like the fuzz on it. I don't remember that they used to give us back in school. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I think I know what you're on about.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. I am not like the word is not coming to me, but you know what I mean. But basically, she makes a little toy out of that. Who, once he's made, somehow he gains sentience,
Okay.
like every other toy. But because he's made of random stuff that is like trash, he keeps trying to throw himself in the bin.
Oh, what a lad.
So Woody kind of takes it upon himself to look after Forky, which is the name Bonnie gave him, and like try and teach him what it means to be a toy. But this is only part of the movie, because during it, I think Bonnie and her family go on a holiday, and Woody and Forky get separated from everybody because Forky jumped out the window.
Oh.
Because, like I said, he's basically spent the entire movie trying to get into the trash bin because he is literally trash.
Well,
and and that's what he wants to do.
The
villain of the fourth movie is actually has a pretty good motive as well. So the main villain of the movie is a doll named Gabby Gabby, right?
Oh, sounds scary.
Basically, her villain motive is she wants Woody's voice disc from his or voice box, for his string.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is her voice box thing was broken from the get-go, like when she came out of the factory with it broken. Right. Like the disc with the audio on is still fine, but the box itself doesn't work.
Yeah.
And because of that, she basically no one ever even looked her way as a doll.
Oh, okay.
Since she's supposed to be one of the ones you pull a string and she talks. So she's kind of just been placed in like it's really hard to say pawn shop, is that it? Yeah, where you just throw away random junk that you don't need and someone else resells it to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically she ended up there and has kind of just been stuck there, and Woody and Forky happened to find their way there after Forky jumped out the fucking window. And instead she starts off very friendly until she notices Woody has a voice box thing and it works. And that's kind of when she becomes a little bit more sinister, but even then she's not ill intent. Like, she doesn't want to harm Woody or anything, she just wants the voice box.
Yeah.
And in the end, Woody actually gives it to her.
Okay.
how so obviously this means Woody loses the ability to use his string to to talk and that. But then even then, like Gabby, it's kind of sad what happens after that. So while Gabby's been stuck in the pawn shop, she became obsessed with the daughter of the owner, who occasionally comes and just hangs around and like plays with the stuff, right? And she believes that if she could just get a voice box that works, like she could actually find a home here. So she has her voice box. She uses it to lure the child over to like see her. The child like picks her, looks at her for a bit, and then just drops her like in a box or something and walks away. Which
Brilliant.
obviously fucking breaks Gabby, as in like
Yeah,
like emotionally, not physically.
yeah, I can imagine.
After which, Gabby basically offers to give Woody the voice box back, as she doesn't feel like she'll need it now. But Woody elects to let her keep it. Eventually, they do find a person for Gabby before like the end of the movie. But yeah, but I said, so she's one of the more sympathetic villains. She's not necessarily a villain. You know what I mean? Like you can see why she suddenly became one. And like I said, she wasn't antagonistic at first, and it wasn't exactly a massive twist because they didn't hold off on her wanting the voice box very long. And yeah, like I said, you could definitely argue she's not technically a villain, but she is technically the villain, if that makes sense. It's very odd.
Well, I'll have to watch it when I get a chance.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's alright. It gets a lot of unneeded hate.
Well, yeah, so I guess on to Ice Age. And I'd say this film, the first Ice Age, is good.
Yeah.
The scrap adventures are kind of funny. They're like the most popular parts of the film.
Yeah, this is before Illumination realized the funny mascot characters could just be the only thing the movies needed to market them. And look at Blue Skies, right? This is Blue Skies.
Yeah,
same thing, different name. They both like heavily rely on the weird mascot character to sell the movie. Like in Ice Age, obviously, if you like a lot of the promo stuff I remember for Ice Age, just so it was the squirrel.
Yeah, scrap. I liked how the humans couldn't, like the animals couldn't hear the humans talk. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
It was pretty funny. We actually see the dodos get extinct.
Yeah, I do like that. They actually like extincted the dodos.
They're all just dumbass creatures, and the one dodo's like, "That's our last female, sir." Oh, and then they're all still just sticking around and running, and then they all just end up bloody falling off a cliff, don't they?
Yeah,
trying to get the water.
Yeah, they're not smart.
No wonder they unfortunately passed away.
Yeah,
but Manny's enemies were pretty. No, but the Diego's squad were pretty cool as well. They were a good thing for his arc. Sid was quite funny, I guess, and Manny, you feel bad for him. There's some amazing scenes when like he's in the cave and looking at all the drawings and seeing the humans killing his family. That was pretty awful and sad.
That was, yeah, indeed. There's a lot in the in the first Ice Age. That's right. I would say the animation on the fucking baby is terrifying nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
It did not age well.
A spawn of a crazy demon, it looks like, but it is what it is. It is quite mad, although you see how cold Manny is at the start, because obviously that lady jumps off the waterfall with the baby, and then you see her holding on and then passing the baby, then she ends up dying and floating off. And then Sid's like, "Oh, we have to take the baby back," and he's like, "No, I'm not doing it." I'm thinking, bloody hell, Manny, you cold fat bastard.
Yeah, he is really cold, but you kind of understand why he's so cold. When
because the humans,
get the cave drawing.
Yeah,
because that more or less is their way of telling us Manny's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So you can understand why he's so cold.
Yeah, I love the bit when he's like, when I don't know why it makes me laugh so much, but when he's like, "Poor Tiggy Wiggy," and then he's like, "Sid, Tiggy Wiggy's going to lead us the way," and then it's like some of the twigs in his mouth and goes, "I headed north 2 hours ago." I don't know why that just made me laugh so much when I was younger, and even now, to be honest, probably if I watched it now, I'd still find it quite funny.
I do like the dynamic between the three quite well.
Yeah, for sure. I like the bit where Manny turns round and his arse is sticking out his hut, and then Sid's like, let me in," and he has to use Manny's tail for shelter.
Yeah,
Pure man's. But yeah, I guess now on to Ice
Ice
Age
Age
2.
2.
Just an average one, I think. Just a
Yeah,
bog standard
average.
average film. I
Yeah,
guess Manny has a bit of a conflict when there's no mammoths left, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there
and
might
then
not
he
be
meets
any
Ellie,
mammoths."
yeah, who thinks she's a possum because she was raised by a possum.
Yeah, so I suppose that
Ellie's
conflict.
all right.
Okay.
Crash and Eddie can get a bit annoying.
Hmm.
They're basically like a pocket scrap that's permanently in the main group.
Yeah.
But Ellie's all right. But
They
you know,
should have.
it's a pretty average movie.
They should have just had Ellie accidentally sit on both of them, so then we don't have to have the rest of them but we don't have to have them in the rest of the
Yeah,
film.
unfortunately, the existence of Crash and Eddie kind of lower the score of every Ice Age movie that follows this one.
Yeah, they're just not really that funny at all. They're just quite annoying.
Yeah.
An annoying mid 2000s.
Like I said, they're basically pocket scrats. They're just a
Yeah.
version of scrats in part of the main group.
Definitely. But yeah, I mean, the stakes are high with everything melting, and I like how they get on that sort of. It's sort of a bit like a Noah's Ark, how they all have to get on that big piece of wood, and it's all knocking around. And the villains are a bit dead arse. They're just some fish that don't say anything.
Yeah, they're just like prehistoric fish that were frozen. Yeah,
that's some conflict. But I don't get why Manny and Ellie get together in the end, because like all the mammoths come out, so there's no need for them to repopulate the mammoth population.
I guess it's in their travel, like they developed feelings for each other. I guess.
Yeah,
that's more or less what I think it was.
Maybe. I found the bing boing bing bing boing bing boing when they all think he's like some sort of god and they have to sacrifice him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the mini sloths. Yeah.
Yeah. What else was all right? I don't know. The Scrat. I can't really remember many of the Scrat adventures. Doesn't he? He goes to heaven and sees all the acorns at the end. That was kind of funny.
Yeah. He's also the one that stops the flood by accidentally breaking the dam, trying to bury his acorn.
Yeah. So he is the savior, which is really good that he saved all the animals.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, if I was writing Ice Age, I would have bloody stopped it there. I don't really see the point of it. It feels like it was all just done and over by that point. Like, what? There's no point in the third one. But I guess Blue Sky thought, bro, it's making us loads, man.
It's making them money. They may as well keep going. That said, I actually do like the third one because Buck Wilds or Buck is actually really funny.
He's pretty good, but I sort of found the story a bit dead arse, unfortunately.
The story, I can see that.
I'll put it above Shrek the Third if you want.
Yeah. It's one of those. The main saving point for the third movie is Buck. I'm just going to be honest there. Without him, the third movie would be a lot worse, yeah. They also have the female Scrat, which I'm pretty sure that thing must have spawned a few furries.
Yeah, definitely.
If you remember it.
I bet she's quite a hoot for a few of them. So, quite a catch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the third one story, yeah. I mean, it has a couple of decent jokes, and obviously the addition of Buck brings the movie up for me, but also the addition of Crash and Eddie still being alive brings it back down.
They should have just got eaten by the dinosaurs or something.
And I guess there's also the thing of like, throughout most of the movie, they're hinting that Rudy is a Spino, and then he appears and he's just a really big Baryonyx, I believe. But it's like throughout most of the movie, they're hinting it's a Spino. Even his silhouette looks like a Spino.
The Spino's more scary than whatever it is,
Spinosaurus is the largest carnivore, I believe, at 50 meters. Not meters, 50 feet. 50 meters would be a bit insane.
But either or, really. I guess it looks more intimidating with its big thing on its back.
Yeah. Obviously, when it comes to dinosaurs, the T-Rex is still king just because of the sheer power of its bite. We underestimate how fucking powerful a T-Rex bite actually is.
Right, it would have definitely been by far the most powerful thing around if it was still here.
It's definitely the most powerful bite we have recorded at all.
Yeah, like obviously we have guns and stuff, so we'd be able to beat a T-Rex, but still, it's...
To be fair, I feel like if dinosaurs were still roaming, it would be a lot harder for humans because they do have a very tough hide, to be honest, and like a lot of muscle. So standard bullets wouldn't do a lot.
Well,
we do also have access to high-grade firepower, which probably would do something.
Yeah, I guess we just use a rocket launcher or a chain gun or something. I don't know, or a tank.
It's like I said before. It's like there is not a species on this planet that we couldn't wipe off the map if the humans decided it needed to disappear. Let's admit that now. the amount of like fucking weaponry and warfare we've created. If there's something we want off the map, it will be off the map.
Yeah. Apart from, well, I think spiders would be quite. I think the creepy crawlers would be quite difficult to get rid of because they just go underground, wouldn't they? So.
Yeah, even then though, like I mean, like obviously spiders and stuff aren't as big an issue as people like to make them think. They're
No,
just creepy.
we just sort of get a bit scared of them.
Yeah, it's because they
I
look
wouldn't
so
want to
far
extinct.
from human as you could physically get that it's unnerving, and as well
Yeah,
as how.
I wouldn't want them extinct because I know they do a lot of good, like getting rid
Oh,
of.
if spiders were
Yeah.
extinct, we
We'd be
would
extinct.
most likely die of starvation or go into poverty trying to feed our families.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because spiders eat something like nearly 1 million to maybe 1 billion flies a year.
So
And
the flies would just kill all
flies
the
and other
food.
like insects like that eat crops
Yeah.
and like other things. So without spiders, we would definitely be struggling for food.
Yeah, definitely.
So as creepy as they are and stuff, and how unnerving they can be, you gotta respect them for that.
They do a lot of
And
good. Yeah.
to be fair, most spiders don't want to bite. Like, it is literally a last resort for them.
Yeah.
So even if like you're worried about them biting you, most of the time they won't.
Yeah. But anyway, Ice Age 4.
Ice Age 4 gains points for me for Captain Gut and Sid's grandma. She's quite funny. But also the story, it feels like at this point you can tell they're just throwing shit at the wall.
I'll put it above
the condition of
Shattered then,
Teenage Peaches brings the movie down.
Is she really? Because I did actually go and see it in the cinema when I was like 12, but I just can't remember it too long ago.
She's basically your standard like teen stereotype who doesn't listen to fucking reason and then causes a lot of the bad shit to happen.
That's annoying. I can't even remember what the hell Scrat did in this film, to be honest.
I don't either. I'm gonna be honest.
What a boring, forgettable one. But if you say that the Peter Dinklage captain and Sid's grandma were good, then I'll put it here. I'll put it here.
Yeah, Sid's grandma's pretty funny, like I said, and Captain Gut's actually a pretty decent villain because I don't remember the kind of monkey he is. I think like he's clearly like a prehistoric baboon, and he's actually kind of intimidating because he's very acrobatic and he has insane levels of physical strength.
Yeah.
Like, but the guy can somewhat physically match Manny is terrifying when you consider how agile he is too.
Definitely. Well, I guess a bit of a bad film, but a few little.
I mean, there's been most of the Ice Age are bad films.
Now here we have here the legends of the Kung Fu Panda. Boom, boom,
great.
Boom,
yeah,
boom,
this movie goes in great.
Great
or amazing.
Never seen
oh, even Goat. Oh wow.
I'll probably put it.
I'm trying to figure out where you're trying to put it.
Boom, boom.
I would put Kung Fu Panda in amazing and Kung Fu Panda 2 and Goat. That's where I refer them. To be fair.
Well, we'll talk. I'll say where I'll put it. Once we get to it. But the thing is, with the first Kung Fu Panda, man, I just really like it. It encouraged me to start martial arts. I thought, bloody hell, if this fat panda can, learn to defend himself and be the Dragon Warrior. And I love how it was just out of nowhere. It's like he flies in the air and he's a Kung Fu fanatic and he's like, whoa!
Yeah. But even then, he wasn't immediately good at Kung Fu. Like, Shifu, he still had to be taught, like, how to do Kung Fu. But what I like about it is a message it teaches Shifu is, and it's a message that a lot of teachers could use, not every student has to be taught the same way, because not every student will learn the same way. And that's a lesson Shifu has to learn, and only once he figures that out is he able to train Po. Because even admitted, he was trying to train Po like he trained the Five, and now he realizes that won't work.
Yeah.
Top of that, Tai Lung is a fucking goated villain.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking awesome.
Like, out of the Kung Fu Panda villains, Tai Lung is definitely the most skilled of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, if I remember correctly with the Kung Fu Panda villains, Tai Lung is the most skilled, and as a single opponent, he is insanely dangerous.
Yeah.
Shed is the most intelligent, but the fact that he actually invented, like, warfare, more or less. Like, the guy had cannons, and he basically uses weapons and shit in everything he does. And Kai, I believe, is the most powerful because, well, he's a spirit warrior that knows how to use chi. But out of the three, Kai is definitely the least memorable one, because even the movie treats him like a fucking joke at times by everyone forgetting who he is.
That's a
But
bit...
we'll get to that when we get to the third one.
Well, I haven't ever watched the third one, so I didn't put it on here. But if we do another one, I will try and watch the third one.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Kung Fu Panda 1 before we get to 2 then, while we're here. Because we kind of like jumped off a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I just wanted to quickly say, in the fight scene at the end, I love how Po like manifests the cookie to get the dragon scroll.
Yeah, he uses imagination to imagine the scrolls of the cookie in order to like use.
And then Tai Lung's like,
the scroll
is giving him power. No!
That bit's really funny, yeah.
And then he's like opening the scroll and he's like,
it's nothing. I do like that the message of the movie is like the scroll isn't some secret like superpower. It is literally just you as a person.
Yeah.
I do like that message.
Seems very Oogway-esque. Well, I don't know if he created it. I'm guessing it was probably the
Oogway is a massive troll. Let's admit it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's been trolling from the moment he entered the movie.
Yeah, and he just leaves at the end. He's like, "I thought this was just a regular peach tree," and he's like, "Oh, he was just something about peaches. It was quite good."
Yeah. Listen, Oogway was trolling people the entire movie.
Quit, don't quit.
Noodles, don't noodles.
Yeah.
You are too comfortable what was and what will be. There is a saying. Yet, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
He was definitely hitting the bong when that happened.
Yeah. Listen, Oogway was trolling people from the moment he appeared on screen. The entire movie.
Nonetheless, he's a top man. He's quite funny. He's like,
also,
Shiva's like, what the hell does all this stuff mean? What's going to happen? I don't know.
Yes, I don't know. It's like Shifu. There is only news. There is no good or bad. Tai Lung has escaped. That is bad news.
Only if you don't believe the Dragon Warrior will stop him. It's like post-back training is going to be.
Oogway is just trolling everybody, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But also like when you're a kid watching Kung Fu Panda, you remember it for like the funny like Jack Black panda shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch it again as an adult, you actually appreciate some of the character writing. Like, for example, when Po like hears from Shifu that Tai Lung broke out and he tries to leave, and like, you know what scene I'm on about? I'm trying to I don't always do good at describing.
When he's like, when the balls go on his tits, and he's like,
the scene after
and he just runs off.
Yeah. That bit's another one because it gives you a very good in-dive into Poe's character, and I'm gonna say this now, like Poe's character has a lot of self-hate. If you go off his speech there,
yeah, with his, I'm just thinking of the bit when she's like, now he has to train you, a big fat panda.
Yeah, because of the nerve point. Yeah.
It just kills me, that bit, man.
Yeah. But like this is what I mean by like some of the character points is what you realize as an adult. It's like as Poe even said, like he like because I think he admits he knew Shifu was trying to get rid of him, and was like just acting oblivious to it. And when Shifu like says, "Then why didn't you quit? I knew you were you knew I was trying to get rid of you." And he says, "Yeah, I think he goes like every time you threw a brick at my head or said I smelled, it hurt." But it could never hurt every day of my life just being me. I thought if anyone could take me and make me not me, it was you.
Yeah.
It's like that line alone just shows you how much self-hate Poe has towards himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, yeah, so that hits quite hard for me, if that makes sense. But also, Tai Lung's like breakdown when he's fighting Shifu as well. It's just like Shifu turned Tai Lung into what he became.
Yeah, he kept bigging him up and saying you're destined for like the best of ever.
You're destined. Like, he filled Tai Lung's head with dreams about the Dragon Scroll, a thing that wasn't Shifu's to give away. But he basically kept teaching Tai Lung to keep training, keep working harder. And basically, like, you will achieve greatness if you like when you earn the scroll, that shit. And basically pushing Tai Lung until eventually Tai Lung became a monster, literally. So when time came for the scroll to be given out, and Uguay said otherwise, and then Shifu didn't try and like defend Tai Lung there, he just fucking broke.
True. And the moment
So-
where Tai Lung looks really sad in his face when he's like, "I'm sorry, I let you down," and he's like,
Yeah, before he immediately
Really-
re-hardens himself.
really good animation there.
Yeah, like, it's visual storytelling, man. Like they show us what Tai Lung's feeling without outright saying it. Like we know, like in that moment when Shifu says sorry, for a moment, like he gets through to Tai Lung, and then Tai Lung re-hardens himself.
For sure.
Yeah. Also,
But I
even,
just wanted
like-
to say the prison sequence was amazing animation.
The
as well.
prison
You can't
sequence,
really-
the prison sequence is
right
probably
about
one of the
that one.
best ways to introduce a villain because it immediately showed us what level Tai Lung is at.
Yeah.
And to be honest, throughout the entire movie, even up to like the end fight with Poe, Tai Lung's never really struggling with anyone he's going up against.
Yeah, he just whoops everyone.
Like when you think about it, like, yeah, the five fighting for a bit, but it's very obvious he's not struggling there. He's fighting all
Mhm.
five of them and still has tricks he hasn't shown.
Yeah.
And even when he's fighting Shifu, like he doesn't look like he's struggling.
True.
In fact, the only reason he loses
Um,
to Poe is because by that point, Tai Lung is just broken.
Yeah, he just goes ballistic, and then but he gets him with the whooshy finger hole, which was brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I thought
But,
the whooshy finger hole just
Also,
evaporates the
another
body. but
very
it
subtle
sends you-
storytelling thing that actually shows you, like, so you know, Uguay's thing when he's telling when he's telling the five what they need to improve on, like he says, Tigress, you need more ferocity, Mantis, greater speed, all that.
Yeah,
Those are all traits Tai Lung has, if that makes sense. And it kind of shows because in the fight between the five and Tai Lung, when they first like land on the bridge and Tai Lung's like, "Where's the Dragon Warrior?" If you look, Tigress has to constantly readjust her balance, whilst Tai Lung is just casually walking on the rope, like his balance not wavering a bit. Like that's another piece of of visual storytelling that shows that, like, Tai Lung possesses all the traits that Shifu was saying the other five needed to have. And it also, like, if you look at the subtleties, immediately shows you he's on a much higher level to them. But the fact that Tigress is constantly having to reposition her footing to keep balance, whilst he isn't.
he just does it with ease, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He does it casually as if it's not even an issue. Whilst Tigress is constantly throughout that bit trying to like change her footing to keep balance on the shaking bridge. So it's stuff like that. Like it's a lot of subtle visual shit that when you analyze it, it really amplifies the movie. Like they did not have to go as hard as they did on the funny Jack Black Panther movie.
True.
You know what I mean? But they did. All right, now let's move on to Kung Fu Panda 2. Now, I'm interested to see where you're going to put this one.
Um, I mean, you might be a little bit disappointed,
I probably will, but let's see.
but not here. Not a good. Not a good. Don't worry about that. But I reckon it's around here. Personally, I wouldn't put it in
Okay.
GOAT. I just saw.
I would say it's above the first one.
Yeah. You reckon? I don't know. I just
think
felt.
so.
I thought the first one it was just a lot more compact and a lot more. It just felt like it got from start to end a lot quicker, and it felt like it wrapped everything up nicely. While the second one, I don't know, it was really good, but it sort of feels like Poe gets shot, and then I guess it is more grand and epic. I don't know. It's such a difficult one. I'll put it here then. I'll put it here.
I would put it's mostly because of Shen as a villain as well.
He's very good, and it
'Cause
expands
there's actually,
Poe's
like,
character.
There's a lot of parallels between Poe and Shen. Also, like I said, Shen is not a martial artist. He's a tactician, and it shows in the way he fights. He uses weapons and like he tries to disorient opponents using his tail and stuff. As well as he just plays mind games.
Yeah,
But also, like, there's a lot of stuff like in Shen's character as well that shows like that. Like, he's hurting as well, and he's not going to change his path.
it's because he just didn't want to be defeated by the warrior of black and white. But
Yeah,
in reality,
here's actually another one of the really fun parallels in that movie. So we always know Poe's color scheme is black and white because he's a panda,
Mhm.
but Shen's color scheme is also black and white. And if you remember, when the soothsayer says a warrior of black and white, she never specifically said a panda. She just said he would be defeated by a warrior of black and white. And if you think about it, Shen's defeat comes kind of at his own hand. Like, he caused his own downfall.
Yeah, him defeating himself.
Yeah. So you could easily look at it as like the one she was talking about is Shen himself, because his color scheme is also black and white. And his defeat does come at his own hand by his own actions.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Just Slap It is really good. I guess the more I think about it, I would put it above the first one.
Yeah. Like, as it, honestly, like, putting it above the first one isn't knocking the first one's quality. It just shows they're both quality.
Yeah, for sure.
I noticed that DreamWorks has a habit of their sequels being better than the originals in almost every aspect.
Usually, yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Now, The Incredibles did it. Oh, wait, no, I can't remember the song. Love it. Amazing.
First Incredibles is a go, easily.
Amazing. Absolutely phenomenal.
What I like about The Incredibles is it's, so this is one of the ways I've heard people describe it, and I kind of agree. It's a family drama with superpowers, if you know what I mean. As in, it's not like superheroes with family elements. It's a family movie with where the family happens to be super. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. We don't really have a lot of shows or movies where it is about a hero family. It's sort of just about the hero himself, and maybe the hero's family will be integrated.
Yeah.
But it's not like you've got a full family full of superheroes. You know.
For example, this is probably something you miss as a kid, but watch it again as an adult. You pick up on when you got the bit where Mr. Incredible is doing his new job and talking to that, I don't remember her name, the white-haired girl who works for Syndrome. Elastigirl assumes he's cheating on her for obvious reasons. It's as a kid, you don't pick up on that, and you just assume the bit she's talking about where she's saying she's losing him is he's doing superhero stuff again.
Yeah.
But then you watch it as an adult and you have a bit more context. Things oh no, she straight up thinks he's cheating on her.
Which is quite a shame, but you can understand why she thinks that, because he's always gone and he's getting all these phone calls and all that crap, And
also, Syndrome is also a fucking goated villain, because, well, one, he's a villain the main character created out of some selfishness. Because you think about it, when Mr. Incredible was doing his hero work, he even says himself he works alone because he quite likes the spotlight of being a hero, as we see throughout the movie.
Yeah, and if he had just actually been a bit more nice to Syndrome and let him down easy and said, "Look, you're too young to be a hero. You got these cool inventions, but you need to wait a bit." And
there's several ways he could have done it better, but instead of just being an ass to his number one fan. So Syndrome is literally a villain he created. And also, I like...
And he poo-poos him. He's like, "You're not affiliated with me!"
Yeah. And I also like Syndrome's line is when he says he's going to sell his weapons to people once he's had his fun playing hero. Once everyone's super, no one will be. It's weird. It's one of those lines that I don't know. I like it because it kind of does make sense. It's the mentality in the game. It's if every character is broken, no one is broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But the whole film slaps. Very interesting, very good stuff.
Yep.
I like the way it ends, to be honest with you. It's
oh yeah.
It's pretty cool how all the heroes, they sort of show themselves at the end. They're ready to fight as a family, and I think Frozone's quite funny as well when he's like, "Where's my super suit?" That's pretty legendary. That's iconic. That's iconic AF.
Yeah, Frozone's good.
And I like how Syndrome's such a mentalist that he takes out all his frustrations and sadness on by killing all the other superheroes, which is pretty tragic.
The man had committed basically mass murder on supers.
Pretty bloody awful, but I guess he's just very, very salty fanboy, a very salty stan who couldn't get over what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, Incredibles 1, GOAT. First, Ants.
I'm gonna be honest. I did not actually watch the Ants.
You're not really missing much. It's sort of like it's a more adult version of A Bug's Life. It's pretty okay. I mean, there's some that one the ants go to war and fight massive termites. I like how in this one all the bugs are actually to scale. You know, they're not like the wasps aren't the same size as the ants. They're considerably bigger, so it makes more sense. He's a bit of a creep in it, the main character. He says to the princess, he's like, well, you could have been a part of my most erotic fantasies, but now forget it. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, Woody Allen, that didn't age well. But, yeah. I mean, it's mad how in real life Woody Allen is a bit of a creep. Like he married his daughter, he adopted. Very strange when she was an adult.
Yeah.
Weird guy. Sylvester Stallone's okay in it. The other voice actors are all right. What's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. The bloke who plays the villain, he's pretty good. He basically just wants to... Basically, there's workers and soldiers, and he wants to create a society of soldiers by drowning the workers, by getting the workers to mine all the way to this lake. Pretty weird and a bit odd. But yeah, he's an okay villain. He's just a mentalist. He keeps trying to get like the main character killed. It's the climax is good because all the worker ants stack themselves on top of each other to get out of the nest with water. And then one of the main characters, played by Christopher Walken, he's like, "Oh well, look at what these ants did," and he's like, "You fool! I am the colony. Fuck you!" And then he tries to knock him over, but the main character pushes him out the way and gets flung over. But he survives. He's all right. He gets rescued, and the bad guy, he just dies. He lands on a rock and dies. So yeah, that's Ants. It's pretty average. Chicken Run.
That's it.
I'll probably put it. It's either low end amazing or high end great for me.
I'd say high end great.
Yeah. Thing is, it's sort of just about a bunch of chickens escaping, but I suppose there's the drama with the Rocky chicken who's like, well, the Rocky rooster who's like saying he can fly when he can't. And I like the RF cock. He's quite cool.
Yeah,
he's quite a good laugh. And they're like, "Hold on, I thought you could fly a plane." "Oh no, I was just sitting in the cockpit, thank you." And they're like, "What?" And he can't actually fly a plane. That was brilliant.
It's like, why would they have a chicken fly a plane? That was funny, yeah.
The film's funny. I like how Mr. Tweedy straight up murders his wife at the end when you see her in the mud.
Yeah.
And he just pushes the thing on top.
Also, Chicken Run has a sequel now.
Oh yeah, I haven't bothered watching it yet.
I haven't watched it yet either, but I've heard it's good. Yeah, that Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget. So I haven't actually seen it yet either, but I've heard it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I might check it out one day.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I like the animation. I like the set pieces they build. The villains are pretty funny. The characters are quite funny. All the arguing.
We definitely
all
need
the
to
drama.
do one of these with just with the movies that we haven't seen yet or that you haven't seen, just so we can give the proper discussions.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Down the line.
Yeah, but for now, let's just stick to ones at least one of us has seen.
But yeah, the ending's quite good and climactic when Mrs. Tweedy's like and tries to kill. I can't remember the main chicken's name.
Ginger.
Oh, cheers. But and then she moves her neck back, and then she's like, "See ya," and drops the rope, and Mrs. Tweedy's like, "Whoa!" and somehow survives that. Very funny, great film. Now we have
Atlantis Lost Empire. Underrated movie, I think.
I'd probably put it here, to be honest.
I agree. I feel this movie is really underrated.
The critics poo-pooed it, man, and I don't get
why. The critics shot on it, and it wasn't advertised very well, sadly. But I think it's actually really good.
I might look up how it did at the box office. I can't remember if it did well or not.
It didn't do well, I believe, which is a shame.
And I can't really think of many films actually looking into the Lost City of Atlantis, you know.
There's not a lot. There's not many, which is a shame. You'd think it'd be prime, like, ground for any adventure movie to go like, oh, we're gonna go find Atlantis.
It did kind of good at the box office. It made 186 million, which ain't too bad, but the
Okay, that's
budget
not
was
too bad.
massive. The budget
Yeah.
was 90 million to 120 million. They really went all
Yeah.
out with this, man.
Exactly, yeah. But like I said, the critics kind of panned it. Now, I will admit, the twist villain at the end is probably one of the weaker aspects of the movie. Like, the leader of the expedition team turning out to be just a standard treasure hunter who was hoping to sell like the shit they found at Atlantis.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Mostly because there's not really many signs up until that point that that's the type of person he is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I just
Outside
liked
of like
how
maybe one or two hints.
I just liked how calm he was about it when he was like, "Oh, we're just doing our thing and stealing." So
Yeah,
that's that.
I do see a lot of people say like that the twist villain part is definitely one of the weaker aspects of the movie. But I guess it's just like, to be fair, Disney have never really gotten twist villains down properly. Let's
Mhm.
admit it. They're still trying to pull it off and haven't.
Yeah, true. So I thought he was okay. I liked how he acted in it. I thought he was quite funny and weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, there's a couple of hints about it, but like they're pretty easy to miss. Like, one of the lines he has before they start the expedition is, "I'm sure this trip will be enriching for all of us."
Oh yeah,
That's like our only major hint of what his actual goal is. Outside of that, there's not really many other hints that show he's going to do this, and it's a line that's very easy to miss.
true. But what else was cool about? I mean, I was rooting for Milo the whole way through, and I like how the crew were a bit dickheaded to him at first. And they were
I
all
do like
acting
how
on
the
it.
crew bond and like learn to give Milo some slack, considering they're only gotten as far as they did in this expedition because of Milo.
Yeah. for
So I do
sure.
like that they actually do learn to give him some slack and actually start bonding with him.
And you feel bad for him because he lost both his parents, and he was raised by his granddad, and then his granddad.
Both his
passed away
parents
as
raised
well.
by his granddad fucking died as well, and his workplace treats him like a lunatic because he talks about Atlantis.
Yeah, it's quite sad, really.
Because
but-
made him sad he realized that like that was his granddad's like dying thing, was trying to find Atlantis, so he's just continuing that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, absolutely slapped, as I say. Now on to the sequel, which unfortunately,
So this
Did not
is
slap.
interesting in the sense of the sequel was actually supposed to be like a pilot to a TV show. So it was like the first 3 episodes of the TV show, but that never got picked up.
I mean, the thing is with it, I just found the stories very uninteresting, and I found it a lot more kid friendly than the first.
That's what I
one.
mean. It was supposed to be for like an Atlantis Lost Empire TV show, but it never got picked up. So the second movie is basically just the first 3 episodes
Yeah,
to try and like see if anyone would be interested in picking the show up, but it didn't do well, and so obviously there was no interest in it. Now you said it was more kid friendly and the stories weren't as interesting. So
bro, I know this happens a lot with the straight to DVD sequels, but there was so much weird animation where the characters were just like
yeah,
completely blank. As well,
it's because a lot of if it's a straight to DVD sequel and it's made up of multiple stories, odds are it was supposed to be the pilot to a TV show,
Mhm.
and like the multiple stories are just the different episodes. Because Cinderella 2 is very much the same. That was clearly like them trying to get a Cinderella TV show, and it just didn't happen. But that's
Yeah.
another one where like the movie is basically just 3 completely separate plots happening like after one another.
Oh. But yeah, I didn't like as well. Like, the characters were explaining everything. It was so strange. It was like it was a little baby show. It was like, we need to go over here now. Let's see what happened. And it's like,
Yeah.
come
Well,
on,
I'd
what
say
the hell's going on here?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I think they were assuming it was going to be like kids watching it, so and they don't like. A lot of TV shows don't give kids enough credit of what kids can handle and like can figure out. They like to dumb it down. And like the thing is, kids can handle dark shit as long as there's a happy ending. Like there's actually
of
some
course.
science and stuff that proves it. Like as long as the ending is happy, kids can handle dark shit.
Mhm. Well,
Oh, I see Lion King next.
it's the circle of life.
Yep.
And it moves a soul.
Yep. So let's discuss original Lion King. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's better movies on this tier list, and I feel like that's a take that's going to get us lynched.
Some people think it's like the magnum opus of 2D Disney. I wouldn't go that far. It's just
I
sort of
wouldn't say it's the magnum opus, but it's definitely one of the better. Like I think it's the one that started their hit after hit renaissance.
Mhm.
Like, but it's definitely it definitely gets a spot for that for starting it. But I wouldn't say it's like their magnum opus, the best thing they've ever made.
Yeah. The
But
songs
it's
are pretty
definitely a
good.
classic that holds a special place in my heart.
I love the scene when Mufasa's spirit comes in the clouds and he's like, Simba, you forgot yourself, therefore you've forgotten me. And he's
Yeah,
like, no, Dad, no. And you see there's tears in Simba's eye flying in the wind. I thought that was animated
Yeah.
brilliantly. And he's like running after his dad and he's like, remember who you are. Then he's vanishing. And Simba's so sad. But Rafiki's like so upbeat and he's like, I love that scene, man. That's probably my favorite scene. In the
I like
film.
the bit like Rafiki like bashes him on the head. Is like,
Yeah.
what's that for? What does it matter? It was in the past.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't
Like, yeah,
matter.
but-
It's in the past.
It's
You
like,
know, that
but it
was
still
brilliant.
hurts. Like, yes, the past can hurt, but you can either run from it or learn from it. Swings again.
And then he ducks, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do?
But first,
And
I'm
he's
gonna
like,
take your stick.
first, I'm going to take your stick. Wait, what are you doing? And he's like,
Yeah.
Run, get out of here. Ha ha.
I see. There are some pretty good moments. Yeah.
That was my favourite scene in the
And of
film.
course, there's the death of Mufasa, which
that-
scarred a lot of kids.
That was really sad. Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
When Scar's like, long live the king.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Kids can handle dark shit as long as the ending is happy.
Yeah, Scar gets his comeuppance by throwing the hyenas under the bus and then they all bloody
Yeah,
eat
and then
him.
obviously the hyenas eat Scar. Yeah, which
Bro,
if
yeah,
you
that's
know
horrible.
how hyenas hunt and eat things, Scar's death is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
One
He deserves it,
a
though.
fucking bite from a hyena is strong enough to crush bone, and they will eat their prey alive.
Yeah.
They won't kill it and then eat it. On top of that, hyenas actually do go for the junk as one of like the first things they'll go for.
Ugh. Well,
To
he
bring like
deserves it.
prey
doesn't he?
down. They will go for the junk.
Thing is,
So
he
yeah, so
deserves it.
Scar got a pretty brutal death.
He deserves it because he's such a bastard.
Oh, he definitely deserves it. Also, I will admit, there is a song that's cut from Lion King that I'm glad they did because it would have added a much creepier vibe to Scar. So I don't know if you heard about that song, but there
What?
was a song cut from the Lion King, which is basically Scar singing about how he wanted to make Nala his mate, and it was very creepy.
Nala's Mufasa's wife.
Nala is Simba's childhood friend. That
Oh,
later
what
becomes
the
Simba's
hell?
wife. Yeah. The
Oh,
song is Scar
God.
singing about how he wants to make her his mate, and it is very creepy. So I am thankful they cut it from the movie.
That would have
I
just
think
made
you can.
him-
Because the thing is,
too
it was
easy.
actually fully animated. You can probably find it on YouTube.
Oh,
so-
dear.
Like I said, but yeah, no, it's very creepy. Right,
Well-
Lion King 2, I see.
Probably
I think
around here.
it's average. Yeah, it has some decent moments. I like how fucking crazy Zira is. Zira being like the villain.
Mhm.
And to be fair, her song by Lullaby is fucking dark. If you analyze, if you know the lyrics. I think. Do you know any of the lyrics from that song?
Nah.
All right. I'll give a couple, and you'll see what I mean by how fucking dark it is. So it's a bit like she's like singing about like she dreams a dream so pretty that she doesn't feel so depressed because it soothes it soothes her inner kitty and helps her get some rest. Right. The very next line is the sound of Simba's dying gasps.
What the hell?
His daughter squealing in my grasp. His
Oh, dear.
lioness's mournful cry. That's my lullaby.
That is well, she needs to get some therapy.
Yeah, it's fucking dark when you actually examine it. And look, she's fucking insane.
Yeah, quite
Yeah.
a scary lady.
And there's like later, it's like towards the other side, it's like the poundings of the drums of war, the sound of Kovu's mighty roar, the joy of vengeance testify. I can hear the cheering. Kovu, what a guy. Payback time is nearing, and then our flag will fly against the blood-red sky.
Oof.
She's fucking mental.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to cross her in a dark alley.
Yeah, so like Zero and Scar are both good villains for different reasons. Scar is obviously a very cunning and conniving bastard, and Zero is just a fucking barbarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like yeah. So the second movie has some parts that are okay about it. Obviously, it's not as good as the original, but it's still good. Like I said, Zero is a lovely dark villain for that era of Disney.
Yeah, and as far as Disney sequels for 2D films go, it's pretty.
It's on the better side, yeah, considering
I'd say it's one of the
Disney
best.
sequels.
But you know what the best Disney 2D sequel is? Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel.
Yeah, Lion King 3.
Tunnel.
So Lion King 3 is basically just Lion King 1, but with the Timon and Pumbaa story. But it has some pretty decent jokes.
Quick before the hyena
Hyenas come. I guess it comes down to how... I guess it comes down to how much do you like Timon and Pumbaa.
Well,
if there are characters that irk
them,
you, this movie probably ranks quite low because it is primarily Timon and Pumbaa. If they're characters you enjoy, this movie is going to probably rank quite high because the movie is primarily Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's just a good fun film. It's
it's a good film. Like, obviously, you shouldn't take it seriously. Like, it's it's clearly like it's designed for jokes. But I do feel like its ranking comes down dependently on how do you feel about Timon and Pumbaa.
I like the silhouette bits where they're in the cinema and he's like, "You're sitting on the remote" and all that. Jazz.
Oh yeah,
the silhouettes, they're quite funny.
Yeah, those parts are good.
Just a good, fun little film. As you said, if you like Timon and Pumbaa, you probably think it's good. If you don't, you'll probably think it's bad. I do like them. I think they're good characters. I think you can sort of take them and leave them in the Lion King 1, but I feel like in 2.5, they're pretty fun and funny. And I love their series as a kid. The Timon and Pumbaa, Hakuna Matata. Even though it was far-fetched and a bit mad, I thought it was quite funny. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Now, did you ever watch this back in the day? Pirates Adventure with Scientists?
I did, actually, yeah.
Right, watch this one in the cinema. The Swords of a Thousand Men, that song they use at the start, absolutely slaps.
Yeah,
the animation
I think it's good. Yeah, for sure. I actually watched it not too long ago because it's on Netflix.
Oh, nice, that's good.
Yeah, no, so yeah,
I feel bad for. I like the lady pirate with the big beard. She's quite funny.
Oh yeah, the pirate who's very clearly a female but is wearing a fake beard and no one can tell.
She's class. The captain's quite funny. I feel really bad for Charles Darwin, man. I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
At least he gets what he wants at the very end, that island with the two ladies on it. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a pretty good movie. Wouldn't say there's anything absurdly great about it, but I wouldn't say there's anything negative either. It's just all around decent.
And I do like how it came out same year as Ice Age 4, which is sort of a pirate movie with those elements.
That one's also a pirate movie.
It feels like there aren't many pirate movies around apart from Pirates of the Caribbean and these
Pirates of the Caribbean is definitely the first big one, but
that you think of.
Yeah. Treasure Planet's another pirate movie I would look at. I don't know if we have that on the list, but that one's also really good.
Isn't that like more sci-fi piratey though?
It's sci-fi piratey, yeah. Basically, it's space. It's Treasure Planet, but it's like a Treasure Island, but space. But it's still very good. Though on that one, Disney kind of assassinated their own movie.
Oh.
As in like they deliberately marketed it badly. Because the director had it in his contract, or if it did well, he'd be given the rights to do a sequel whenever he wanted.
So they shouldn't have agreed to that contract. I think it's Disney's fault. They shouldn't have agreed to that.
Yeah, so he made the movie, and it is actually a really good movie. And then Disney deliberately marketed it badly to basically make it do bad at the box office.
Oh.
So it bombed because Disney didn't market it well. Or Disney marketed like another bargain bin, like standard Disney thing, when it's definitely not.
Thing is,
I would definitely watch Treasure Planet if you haven't seen it. It's quite good.
I watched it when I was a kid on Disney Cinemagic, and I can't remember it very well.
Yeah. To be fair, when you watch stuff as a kid, you're not gonna remember shit.
Right, it is bloody sad. Budget was 140 million. It only made 109 million. That's really sad. That's a shame.
They seem like Disney basically assassinated their own movie because they didn't want to agree to the guy's contract.
But they should have just said, look, you can make a film, but you have to do it in the next 5 years, because he could do something mental, like come back in 20 years and say, I just want to make a new one. You know,
Yeah,
that's the problem with those sort of contracts. They should just
yeah.
say you have to make
But I
it in
said
the
if
next
we
5
were ranking things based on what we thought was quality as a kid, most of the shit here would be an amazing upwards. Because
Yeah,
let's face
true.
it, as a kid, you don't exactly have a grasp of quality. Let's
Mm.
just admit that now.
But talking of
Right,
something
up.
that I loved as a kid, but now don't think it's as good,
A lot of the thing for Up comes from its opening.
I don't know where
That's
the bloody hell
definitely
puts it,
the
man.
the
I don't
opening
think
is definitely the peak of the movie.
probably here, to be honest, because
Yeah, it's not like it's still good, but it definitely peaks at the beginning with the intro. Like that
yeah,
intro is definitely the peak of the movie. Not to say the rest of the movie's bad, but it doesn't get as good as that intro. Let's just admit that now.
I feel like I like the chemistry between a lot of the characters. Like I like Russell and Mr. Fredrickson and
Yeah,
Doug and the big animal, the big chicken looking animal. Can't remember its name or her name. I think she had kids, didn't she? The big chicken animal, the one that goes
yeah.
"Rah!" at everyone.
I also like that Charles Muntz, the villain, like starts off very friendly, but you can tell he's kind of lost it from
Yeah,
living
because he's
there trying to catch
been in
this
South
bird.
America forests for so long and he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, so you can tell like, he starts friendly, but you can tell he's kind of lost his sanity as well.
Yeah. And he's making all the dogs work for him for free and not giving them. But I guess he gives them food.
But
Where's
he's
he getting
giving
all this
them
dog
food.
food
Like,
from?
yeah, I think he's like trained and raised them. Yeah, so. But yeah, no, the dogs are primarily his workforce. Yeah.
But the thing that baffles me with it is a fun, good adventure. But I don't understand why. I know why Mr. Fredrickson wants to go there, but what was his end goal? Did he just want to fly out there and stay there and die? Like, what, he wouldn't have survived in the forest. He would have just been like sitting there doing nothing. I get that it was his wife's dream, but
I think
I thought
it was literally, yeah, I think it was just because that was the dream him and his wife had, which was to go there and like raise their house. But obviously she passed and he kind of like lost his way.
yeah. But the thing is, surely she would have just wanted to go there and then go back home, not just stay there forever. It seems.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
Because die.
she even written like her storybook, like that he was her greatest adventure, and now she wants him to go out and have more.
That's really nice.
But he obviously didn't see that because he basically didn't look at the photo book because it reminded him of her and it hurt him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, the movie is good, but it definitely peaks at its beginning.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
All right,
Monsters.
Monsters Inc. Ooh, okay. I would say great.
I'll probably stick it here, to be honest.
Yeah,
Behind the
dead
Lion King.
center of great. Yeah, that feels fair.
It's fun. I really like what's his name, Mike Wazowski and
Yeah.
Sully. They have a good chemistry, good duo. Some of it's quite funny. I like the big what's her name, Roz, the big fat alien, where she's like, always watching,
Yeah,
always watching. She's quite funny. Bigwell, not Bigwell. Fuck's sake, Bigwell.
big one. Yeah,
Mr. Waternoose.
that's robots. You're thinking.
Yeah. Mr. Waternoose. is in
Mr.
it or
Water.
something.
Okay, I do like Waternoose as a twist villain because you can tell he's still a bit he's not quite irredeemable yet. He's desperate.
Yeah, he doesn't want his
Even
company
after
to fail.
banishing Sully and Mike, he's still shit talking Randall that Sully is still a better scarer.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck you guys," and just chucks him into the North Pole.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I said even after banishing them, like, because when they give out, you see like them setting up the Scream extractor. He's still shit talking Randall about how Sullivan is a much better scarer than he'll ever be. So it's like I said, like, Waternoose is one of the twist villains that work because he's not just a straight evil; he's a desperate man. Like his company that has been in his family for generations is practically going under.
Yeah,
He doesn't know what to do. Kids aren't being scared as much anymore, and they need those screams to power their city.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell it's a move out of desperation. Doesn't justify what he's doing, but you can see where it is. and you know if there was an alternate way to do this, he would have done it.
Yeah, you know that he knows what he's doing is morally wrong, but he probably just thinks the bad stuff outweighs the end result.
Yeah, it's the end. He's praying the ends justify the means, or
Yeah,
it's basically It's he's accepting that he has to do something bad here for the good of his kind, like monster kind. Especially since, as they say, like they're because at the time they didn't know about laugh power, and kids were getting less easy to scare because of like horror movies and stuff.
Put that thing back where it came from. Or so help,
help
me,
me.
bomb, bomb. So help me, so help me, bomb, bomb.
Yeah.
I guess Boo was kind of funny. The snake hair lady going mad.
I like the running joke of Mike Wazowski always being covered up in like anything he's on, like the Monsters Inc. like commercial or the magazines. He's always covered up. I love that running joke.
And when they show the advert at the start, and he's just happy at the end of it that he was.
Yeah, it's like I was on TV. Did you see me? I'm a natural. He didn't even have a speaking line. He was just standing there. Also, like the bit was like when they're walking to work because even though Mike wanted to take the car, you see like the really big monster. It sounds like a chicken, and so he's like, "See, Ted's walking to work." He's like, "Big deal." He takes 5 steps and he's there.
Yeah, not bad.
Then Mike Wazowski is pretty funny.
But yeah, overall, great film. I'm personally not the biggest fan, but I'll put it in low end grade. Objectively, I've got to give it its credit. I've got to give Meet the Robinsons. I've got to give Meet the Robinsons.
It has its moments.
I feel like for effort, it was really good, and I like the meaning behind it to keep moving forward. No matter what happens, you've just got to do your best to learn to live with the things that happen and just keep moving forward. I like that message. I just feel like the rest of the film's a bit odd.
Doris, I believe, is the name of the hat. Actually turns out to be a pretty twisted villain as well.
Yeah, she wants to take over.
Throughout most of the movie, we got Goob, or the bowler hat guy, as he's referred to from most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's comical, but you don't take him seriously in the slightest.
Yeah.
But then you get to, like the ending when Doris reveals her it's her plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, this one was our villain. Oh Jesus Christ. Fucking dystopian future over here. Wow.
Scary.
Yep. But yeah.
I guess I do feel sorry for Goob, but the thing is, man, like Lewis, he was actually trying to learn to live with what happened. I know he had his moments, but he sort of seemed like some dude who would keep moving forward. Goob is just stuck in the past. I think
that's the message the movie was trying to portray: is Goob refused to move forward and blamed everyone else but himself.
Mm-hmm.
Or more so, he certainly blamed Lewis for it when, because like you said, like he even said like they all hated me, yet the kids like, hey Goob, do you want to come like to my house and hang out and all that? Like no one disliked Goob over like losing the baseball game, but he kept blaming Lewis for that loss and like and refusing to move on.
It's really mad, sad, really.
Yeah, so I think that's the main message of the movie is like, I guess Goob's supposed to be an example of what happens if you can't move past the past or you refuse to accept what happened and you just keep making excuses or blaming other people for what happened.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, at the time, Disney weren't doing that well themselves with films like Chicken Little was bloody. Oh shit! I forgot to put that on
fucking Chicken Little. Honestly, I'm glad it's not on this tier list. We all know where it would be if it was.
It would have been in like trash or bad.
Yeah, we would have had to have made a new tier for named after fucking Chicken Little's dad.
It was very aggravating. His dad was a twat. We'll put it in the next one and rip into it.
Chicken Little's dad is a prime example of how not to write a dad in anything.
Yeah, he was just
He's easily one of the worst characters
ever.
Yeah, ever. And let's say any time someone makes like a top like 10 worst anime dads, you guarantee he's in the top 3, if not number 1.
Definitely.
Every time. Like, he's such an asshole. Okay. I see Wally.
Oh yeah, here we go. Wally.
I want to put this in amazing.
Yeah, I'll put it in.
I would put it above Atlantis and Toy Story. maybe behind Kung Fu Panda, give
I-
or take. There's a lot of elements I like about Wally. But-
I'm going to leave it here if that's okay. Just because
That's fair. That's
the
fair. Put
thing
it between
is,
the two Toy Stories.
the
Yeah, I'll
starts
agree with that.
the start's quite artistic and interesting, but I just feel like it's sort of a bit hit and miss when they're on the ship. I guess you got that big thing, that big
Yeah.
wheelie type looking
Oh,
thing.
the compute.
Hal, is it?
Yeah, Hal or the vice captain or assist captain.
Yeah, I guess he hires the stakes, and it's a bit sad when Wally nearly dies at the end.
Yeah.
But I sort of feel like it's a
But
bit
even
of
then, you can argue the wheel's not really a villain. He's just following his directive.
yeah, true.
And one of the things I do like is when it shows you the pictures of all the past captains and the autopilot. You see, like, as each picture goes by, the autopilot gets closer and closer to being the center of the frame,
Yeah,
which shows that, like, over the how many like generations he has, like, the autopilot's basically becoming the captain of the ship, and it also just shows how incomplete, like, what is it, ignorance the crew people are living in. Like, none of them are aware of anything that's happening. They're all
being
kept in like
lazy.
blissful ignorance of what's actually happening.
They're like, we messed up the Earth. Who cares? Let's just fly off into the sunset.
Yeah,
forever
that's
and not do
basically what
anything.
happened. Yeah. I know. It's like you can tell. It's like a lot of people nowadays who are stuck in their phones or on social media. It's basically like that
Scary.
when you think about it. It's like, because a lot of them are basically in those floating chairs, always on a screen, talking to people who are right next.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. So I could, if it very much reflects a lot of modern day of people who are obsessed with social media and always being on like Twitter or Facebook or something.
For sure. But yeah, amazing film, great fun, easy watch. A little bit hit and miss in the middle, but the start and end slap. Here
Yep.
we go, Prince Ali.
Yes, the original Aladdin.
Love it.
Honestly, fucking the genie carries this movie.
Oh yeah. Monsieur Aladdin, sir, what may your pleasure be? You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. Yeah, it's pretty good. I do enjoy it quite a bit. I like how Aladdin makes his way to the top, and I love the sequence when he's going into the genie temple and then escaping it. Jafar's an okay villain. Him and the princess vibing, that's pretty cool. The end's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty great film.
Yep.
I might actually, I don't know. Should I put it behind Monsters Inc. or... I say Monsters Inc. is a smidge better, personally. Just a smidge. I just feel like the highs and how much goes on in the film probably just edges out Aladdin by a smidge. But yeah, great fun. As you said, the genie carries it. Wreck-It Ralph. I like the concept and all that jazz of bouncing between the arcade games and how Ralph's tired of being the villain. But apart from that, I mean, I don't really... it's just kind of... I don't know.
I like the video game references as a video game nerd. And yeah, Turbo is actually probably one of the best twist villains Disney, and probably the only decent one Disney's managed to pull off.
What was his reason for being evil? Because I can't remember that well.
He liked being the center of attention. Like, he didn't like when another racing game took, because he used to be the top game in the arcade, and he didn't like when other racing games took like his spotlight. So he left his game to invade that one and caused the game to basically crash and got both their games like unplugged. But obviously, as we know, Turbo escaped that and basically invaded Sugar Rush and rewrote the code of the game to make himself a character.
That's quite narcissistic.
But I think like the main twist there of how it works is the reveal of King Candy is Turbo, not so much like Turbo wasn't like is a person that suddenly turned out to be a villain. It's also the fact that we hear about Turbo earlier in the movie from Fix It Felix, and then it's revealed King Candy is Turbo.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the twist villain works there.
Now we have Megamind. This is another difficult one. I do love the film personally. I love it quite a lot. Probably put it around...
Megamind's great. I feel like Megamind's one of those underrated ones that didn't do great when it came out because Despicable Me came out at the same time and more people were anticipating that.
Yeah.
But Megamind, I think, after I've watched both, and I feel like Megamind's definitely the better of the two. But I feel like everyone's just anticipating Despicable Me more, so it did better because they came out roughly the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's a way better version of it because you feel bad for Megamind, like he's about to get shot into Earth, then Metro Man takes his place, and he ends up going in a prison, and the prison are like, "Oh, you've got to do this, Megamind," and then Megamind gets treated like shit in school and picked last for everything, and he's like, "I can't do anything good. My experiments piss people off, but the one thing I'm good at is being bad." So he decides to be a villain. He's not inherently well. He's like in his soul, he's not bad.
He embraces being the villain because no one was really giving him a chance.
Yeah,
but you can tell he's not evil. Like he's not actually evil. Like if he had another option, he would have chose to be the hero, as we showed by the fact he actually became the hero.
Yeah.
Also, what I like about it is we have the incel that is is it Howl?
Howl, yeah, he's quite funny.
Yeah, Howl. I do like when he becomes Titan because he has some pretty funny lines like "There is no Tooth Fairy, there is no Easter Bunny, and there is no Queen of England." I do love that line.
That hasn't aged well, but again, it was 10 years ago.
I mean, yeah, it hasn't aged well.
We can't say it now, technically.
Yeah, it's still pretty funny though.
It is a good line, yeah, for the time.
But also, like, it's like, "Oh, you're a villain, all right, just not a super one. What's the difference? Presentation."
That was brilliant, yeah. The Welcome to the Jungle. That was great.
And also, I do like that Metro Man didn't come back to help in the climax.
Yeah,
because that feels like that would just I feel like that feels like that would have just redone his, like that would have messed up his story and his journey as well.
And Music Man was born. You bastard! You left us behind.
Yeah, considering a big thing of Metro Man's story is he didn't want to be the hero either. He was just kind of put in that role because of his powers.
Yeah,
and he realized it during his fight with Megamind that this wasn't what he wanted out of life.
Yeah.
But one of the things this is one of the contrasts between Howl and Megamind. Howl is a quote unquote nice guy.
Yeah.
And Megamind is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the difference is nice guys are only nice because they want something, or they expect you owe them something because they were nice.
Or they feel pressure and they don't want the consequence of being bad.
Kind of. Whilst good guys are good because that's who they are. They don't expect something.
Yeah.
For example, Hal was like, I'll even admit it. He only wanted, like, when he got the powers, he admitted he only wanted to be a hero because he thought it would get him the girl. And as soon as he realized she wasn't into him having superpowers, because superpowers weren't what she was into to begin with, he immediately became a villain because he wasn't a good guy to fucking begin with.
Mm-hmm.
He was only nice for because he was trying to get something.
He's quite a creep as well. The way he was talking to.
Oh, he is 100% a fucking creep.
He's pretty creepy.
I mean, he has a fucking he has a fucking poster in a room with her face on it.
Yeah.
And it has written next to it "Good night, Hal," and it has it in front of his bed. Yeah, it's a background thing if you didn't notice that. But yeah, no, he's definitely a creep.
I like the little Marlon Brando type character who's teaching how to be a hero, like how Marlon Brando did in the Superman film.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty cool. I like the discussions that this film presents as well. With the, when you think to yourself, was Roxanne Ritchie right to say Megamind fuck off because he tried so hard to change, didn't he? He tried so hard to be Bernard and not be this evil dude, but he killed Metro Man and he's been evil for all these years and was dictating the city a bit and being mean and terrorizing people. It's like you get why she's done it, but Megamind's trying so hard to be a good guy, so it's quite an interesting discussion.
Yeah. Megamind's definitely also one of the first superhero movies I've seen of that era where they pose the question of, is the villain really a villain?
Yeah.
Because obviously we know Megamind's the hero of the movie because in the universe of the movie, he was the villain for most of it.
Yeah.
And
get back
it raises
to
questions and it does make you question how many villains are straight villains? Because a lot of people who do stuff do have a reason.
Yeah.
Not everyone. Some of them are just fucked up people.
And it doesn't make it justified why Megamind.
Yeah, it doesn't justify it. But you can see how a person ends up on the path they go.
Yeah.
And I do like that. I think Megamind's one of the first, or among the first, hero movies to actually raise that question
Mm-hmm.
of like making you ask yourself, well, why did they become a villain? As I think Joker from Dark Knight's another one where he, from his line, all it takes is one bad day.
Yeah. But what I say to Joker is, we've all had a lot of bad days. It's about the choices you make. And in reality, it is about choices, because look at those people on the boats. They don't blow each other up, do they? They just accept it. And Joker's like, for God's sake. You know?
Yeah.
Because the Joker just wanted to prove that everyone was as evil as he was, when in reality they weren't. Those people, anyway, weren't as evil as he was.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Indeed. All right. Horton Hears a Who.
Horton Smith.
I don't remember this movie. I've seen it, but it's very forgetful.
It's just a lot of ticking around. Jim Carrey
it's
doing
a lot
weird
of fucking
impressions. Whoville's okay, I guess. It's okay place.
It's one of the various Dr. Zeus movies where they fucked it up from the book.
The kangaroo woman's like, "Fuck you! No, there's no people living on this speck." I don't get why she's being such a sigma.
She makes such a big deal out of it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it makes you get annoyed at her as a villain. The anime section I personally found it a bit quite funny as a kid, and even a smidge funny now. I find it funny.
Yeah.
The end's quite cool, I guess. Horton, they make such a loud noise, the Whoville people, and everyone's like, "Oh, they do exist." And then Horton accidentally belly flops it, and then that's the end. It's okay. It's an average film. Some people do say it's bad and shit. I wouldn't go that far. I just think it's a bit of a nothing movie, but not bad or good. Just sort of very, very average.
I'd say it's average.
And here we go. I like to move it. You like to move it. Gloria's big fat ass sitting on people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you're putting it in goat just because of Gloria's ass.
Yeah, amazing stuff. In reality, it's just average, man. It's just
the first Madagascar is average.
It starts off good with the whole with them Marty wanting a new life and stuff, and all the stuff in New York's good, and when they're in the crates it's okay, and I love the penguins' antics. But then when they go to Madagascar, then when it goes to Madagascar, I kind of think it's just kind of average.
The movie's pace is kind of mess up once they actually get to Madagascar.
Yeah.
I do like the struggle they show with Alex, of him fighting his hunger and predatory instincts, and him not wanting to maim his friends.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Because if it
you're biting my butt. No, I'm not.
Yeah. Also, if the animals were realistic to their real life counterparts, Gloria would be fucking bench pressing everyone in the verse.
She kind of does though when she busts through the wall, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, but there's no reason Gloria would be scared of Alex. Hippos body lions in the wild regular.
She just instantly butt slam him and that'd be it.
Even a fucking group of lions will not tackle a hippo if it's in full health. No. They do better.
True. But the comedy's quite good as well. King Julian's a bit funny. Mort and Maurice are kind of funny. Mort's foot fetish is a bit, as an adult watching it, I think bloody hell, he's a bit like Quentin Tarantino.
And it doesn't get better in the Penguins of Madagascar TV show. If anything, Mort's foot fetish there gets even worse.
It's mental.
It's fucking. All right, Madagascar 2. I'm assuming that one's supposed to be. It's definitely better than the first.
Yeah, it's more funny. The story's a bit better.
It's more funny. The characters have some better moments. There's a bit better tension.
They're all on their own journeys as well. Like Gloria.
Yeah, everyone gets their own journey. Yeah.
With the chunkster Moto, he likes.
Oh yeah, of course, Moto.
He likes some plump hair. What a legend.
Are we sure Moto isn't just you as a hippo?
Well, I'm a lot more intelligent than him, but we have the same enjoyments.
Yeah, I get that.
But he's just a bit of a dead arse bloke, and Melman has the same mentality. He likes them big and plumpy, but obviously he doesn't express how he feels until the end of the film. It's pretty wholesome how they get together.
The fucking grandma as well.
Oh yeah, she's quite funny. Yeah, the penguin. Private. I was
like, is she dead?
No.
I do love her reactions to the penguins. Yeah. Let's face it, the Penguins carry the Madagascar movies. Let's just admit that now.
Yeah, those four bands.
They carry these movies.
And the show's pretty good as well, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah, the show's actually pretty good as well.
So,
Sort of like how creepy Mort is with the feet.
You know, in the show, how do the penguins end up back at the Madagascar Zoo?
I don't know.
Because I never.
I'm assuming
understood
the
that.
show is like supposed to be like in its own continuity, so it's like separate canon to the movies, I guess.
But I do
Because
remember.
obviously, like Julian and them are there, but if you watch the third one, you know they don't go back to the zoo.
Yeah.
As for Madagascar 3, which I see that down there, I'd say it's better than the first one, but worse than the second.
Nah, I'd put it in bad personally. I found it quite boring. I guess the lion's arc was okay. That big lion who jumps through the ring.
Oh, the tiger, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, the tiger.
Yeah.
Some of the plot stuff was weird. I like the chase scene. That was quite fun. The ending's good. I didn't like the fireworks song they used for the ending. I thought that was.
Oh, yeah. Also, like, I like the bit where, like, Morty, is it Marty? The zebra.
Oh yeah, Marty the zebra.
Marty, yeah. When he gets on the wheels, like, it's like, you can't drive. Only people and penguins can drive.
But what annoyed me is when one of the penguins said one of the plot holes when they were like, "We had enough money to buy a plane. Why did we buy the circus?" And it's like, yeah, exactly. Why did they do that?
Yeah, that is also fair. The penguins literally point out a plot hole in the movie.
Yeah, but usually I don't like overriding stuff, but I have to put it in bad. I just remember thinking it was absolutely
That's fair.
just not very good. And I can't put it above these bangers. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting it above Horton, but the rest of them I can't put it above.
That's completely fair, yeah.
But it does end well. I'll give it that. It does end it very well. Ends the trilogy well.
Despicable Me.
We are going to steal the moon.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it now. First one is still the best of the Despicable Me movies currently.
Yeah. I mean, Gru is just some bloke who just loves being a villain. He just enjoys it. There's no sad backstory. He's just sort of like a villain, and I guess it's kind of funny and fun. And the minions are not too annoying in this one. I like how the Vector's quite a funny memeable villain.
Vector is a very memeable villain. The minions in this one I think they were the right amount. They were funny, but they weren't like completely like taking over the movie with their shenanigans.
Do you know why I'm called Vector? Because I commit crimes with
both. If it was like direction and magnitude.
That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Of Top Man, quite funny.
Also, I do like the part of the spoon. The story of the spoon is where like the three girls managed to like get through to Gru's like heart.
Yeah, that's pretty wholesome.
Yeah. Because I say it remembers like if it's like you can be like one of the most cold-hearted people like in the world until you become a dad.
Yeah, and that warms Gru, the cockles of Gru's heart.
Yeah.
Now we have.
Big on Me Too.
I really can't remember it very well, man. I'll just put it here for safety.
The only thing I remember is the fucking Mr. Macho like villain guy. I don't remember his name. Oh, El Macho. He's like the only real thing I can remember about the movie.
I think I remember the minions turning purple and going mental.
Oh yeah, I got blah. Blah. But yeah, no. But the Film Me 2's where they realized the minion formula worked for selling the movies to younger kids, so the minions started dominating the movies from this point. In a sense of like they were prevalent more often, they were making more jokes, and they were more integral to the plots. So I think it's Despicable Me 2 where they realized, oh, the kids love watching the Minions, we can just market the Minions. Until eventually the Minions just get their own movie.
Well, now on to Shark Tale. Now I would put it in bad, but I've got to use the category.
Yeah, we have the category there for a reason. We've got to use it. Yeah. Shark Tale is definitely one of the lower points of DreamWorks, and it's why I say DreamWorks are a very hit and miss studio.
Because they have done live action stuff before, like Catch Me If You Can and Saving Private Ryan. It seems like a film that should have been live action because it's about a bloke who kills a mafia boss's son and then becomes famous for it.
Well, he didn't even kill the mafia boss's son. He just took the credit for it.
The anchor.
It's a liar. It's a standard liar reveal story with several Godfather references and hints, and the main character is just generally unlikable.
Yeah, he's a trash.
Like his motive is literally, I just want to be famous.
Yeah,
and he literally is ready to throw everybody under the bus for it if he can get away with it.
like Angie gives him the. Is that a name? I can't. The
Angie,
purple-
yeah. She literally
gives
gives him her mother's pearl so that he could pay back his debt to their boss, and he said fucking gambles it.
I don't see why she's such a simp for him. It doesn't make any
I
sense.
don't know. That's what I mean. Like, his goal motive is he just wants to be famous, and he's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, and he seems
And
quite happy when he's doing the whale stuff though, like washing the whale's asses and teeth. You know,
I don't know.
he
Like,
didn't seem to hate it too much.
I don't remember much. My brain has put a mental block on this movie.
But-
Okay, so I've told this story to a couple of friends. Every time I do, they've asked if I was in a mental hospital or something. So there was a time where I had to be in hospital for 3 days I was kind of on a I don't want to say it was an oxygen machine, but I was on a thing that was designed to help me breathe.
Yeah,
Right. And while I was in there, the only thing they had for me to watch as entertainment was Shark Tale.
oh,
So just all the time while I was in there, it was just Shark Tale.
that must have been a bloody bad time.
Yeah, so I kind of have made I've kind of like made a repressed bank about this movie from that. And every time I've told that story to some of my friends, like, "Are you sure it wasn't a mental hospital you were staying in?"
But yeah. Anyway, I just want to say as well, with the only good scene was the. So where am I, Sykes? And he's like, first there's sharks, then there's fish. Oh, then there's me. I'm getting there. There's rocks. There's coral.
There's whale poo.
There's whale
and then
poo.
there's you.
And then there's you. That bit slapped still.
That bit's pretty funny, yeah. And like I
And,
said, yeah, a lot of Godfather references in Shark Tale.
yeah. But
Alright.
anyway,
A Bug's
Bug-
Life.
it's either below or above Ants.
Yeah, I would say I want to put it above because I like Hopper as a villain.
Yeah, I personally like Ants better just because it's more adult and there's
Yeah,
fighting
that
and
makes
more-
sense, but
But objectively, Bug's Life is that bit better.
sometimes going adult for the sake of young adult doesn't always make something better.
Yeah, it might appeal to me, but I feel like the general audience will prefer Bug's Life, and
Yeah.
Hopper is a way better villain than that other geezer.
Yeah, what Hopper actually is kind of intimidating. He's
Yeah.
using gaslighting and like force. Like, I mean, look at he literally kills 3 members of his own crew to prove a point.
Yeah,
If you remember, and also
'Cause
he has like he also has a pretty good line that's like, first rule of being a leader: everything is your fault,
hmm
which is true. Like the faults of the employees do fall on the boss, or they should, because well, one, you hired them and all that.
yeah.
But yeah, no. Obviously, it's another liar reveal story, so depending how you feel about those, that can probably knock it down a few points. But Hopper is still a pretty intimidating villain, and like I said, the guy fucking cold-heartedly kills 3 members of his own crew, literally to prove a point.
hmm
Which, yeah.
Well, next we
Alright,
have Monsters
next
vs.
one is
Aliens.
Monsters
I'd say it's
versus
round here.
Aliens.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
I
pretty
agree with that. No real discussion need to be had here.
good. Yeah,
I agree.
The villain just looks like a rip-off of Megamind. The action is
He really is.
okay.
That's it. There is one good meme that when he's doing the bit where he's cutting himself, he keeps cutting his dialogue off.
Oh yeah.
There's a decent meme there because people have made videos filling in those gaps,
hmm
and and those are funny. But
Yeah,
for the most part, yeah, it's not great.
Not much to say. They should have done more Giantess stuff with Susan. That would have been quite funny. But yeah, apart from I guess yeah, it's actually there was I guess the general could be kind of funny sometimes, and
Yeah,
just
General
too much Seth
Warmonger.
yeah, just too much Seth Rogen and stuff, man.
Yeah,
The Lego Movie, I'd say probably around here, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Considering it's basically just a giant toy commercial, I think it did pretty well. When you consider its entire existence is literally just to be a big toy commercial for Lego.
This is the last film I actually saw in cinema. Animated film that I saw in cinema.
Yeah, and obviously it had the massive earworm of everything is awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty good fun. I like the way it was animated. I like how the Lego people moved like actual Lego, and it all sort of just took place in some kid bedroom in his imagination with the toys and everything. bro. Ratatouille, man, slaps. I love it. Absolutely amazing. Characters are great. Stories great.
Yeah, Ratatouille is
Very much.
another one of those goats, and it's another reason why I say like Pixar's quality is so high that when they get a mediocre movie, everyone immediately declares them dead.
Yeah.
And it's because they have movies like fucking Incredibles, Toy Story 2, Ratatouille. Like, if you look, Pixar's like the Pixar movies that have popped up so far are fucking dominating the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, yeah, no, Ratatouille's definitely up there as one of the goats.
I saw that as a kid in cinema, and I'm so glad it did well in the box office as well.
Same, yeah. Also, I do like how Ego, the critic.
Oh, yeah, the tall critic.
Yeah, I like it when it shows you his room. His room is laid out like a coffin.
I didn't notice that part of it.
Yeah, which is funny when you realize so they drop what his nickname is very briefly, during the thing where they're saying Goose. Yeah, is it Gusto?
I think so.
Yeah, if it's Gusto, so when it's saying Gusto lost one of his stars to a critic review, and in that they drop what his nickname is of the Grim Eater because of how picky he is.
Yeah.
I
don't like food. I love it.
Love it.
I don't like it, and I don't swallow.
Yeah, like I said, fitting with the title of Grim Eater, like I said, his room is designed like a coffin, which is pretty cool.
Skinner was quite funny. Rat!
Yeah, definitely. And I like the bit towards the end of Remy, when Remy is in the cage with his imaginary Gusto, and he's like, I pretend to be a rat for my dad. I pretend to be a chef for Linguini. I pretend you exist, so I have someone to talk to. Why do I have to feel like I have to pretend? And Gusto's like,
pretty good.
You don't, Remy. You never did.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that bit because, yeah. Because a lot of people do feel like they have to put masks up to fit in with other people when they don't have to and shouldn't have to.
Yeah. But it's satisfying, though. I was going to say, when his dad does come and help him in the kitchen at the end. And all the rats just team up against the health inspector and tie him up. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
And Bully.
I gotta admit, I don't think I've watched this one.
Fair
if
enough.
I have, I've repressed it.
It's like a bit of it's like a really bad version of Ants and Bug's Life. I mean, I liked it as a kid. It's basically about this kid who got bullied, voiced by the dude who voices Aang.
Yeah.
He does a good job voice acting the kid. I just feel like as he did a good job voicing Aang, I just feel like it's just quite boring. Nick Cage's Ant was okay in it, I suppose. The story was
Speaking of Ant, just real quick, my excitement for live action Last Airbender has slightly gone down.
Oh shit, really?
I've seen a bit of the special effects and they don't look great.
No, I'm gonna be gutted if they fail with it.
I'm gonna send you a tweet that shows a little bit of the special effects, and you'll see what I mean. They're basically they're only slightly better than Shyamalan's special effects. If that makes sense. You'll see what I mean if you watch the trailer there.
That's pretty poor for 14 years later.
Yeah, my excitement is somewhat gone down from that.
But I just want to say quickly with Ant Bully though, it's okay, I guess. I don't like a human being shrunk and dicking around with ants. It just seems kind of like naff. I prefer the ants just having their own struggles and doing their own thing. And that jazz. I feel like those sort of bug movies do better when it's not integrating humans into it too much.
Yeah, just let the bugs be bugs.
Yeah, just a bit of a bad film.
Recess Summer Vacation.
Let the sunshine.
Yeah, so I think we've actually spoke about this on a past podcast, Recess.
Yeah, I guess we can just quickly go over it. I feel like it's an average film if you watch Recess and know the story and know the characters. I feel like it wasn't really the best send-off and it was a bit too OTT for a Recess movie. However, it was just a bog standard average film. I like our principal Prickly got more involved and had some heartfelt conversations with TJ.
The main villain basically wanted to destroy the world unknowingly.
Yeah.
Remember, his whole goal was he wanted to freeze the thing to get rid of summer vacation, so more kids will be inside studying. It's like, yeah, but if you freeze the globe, you're gonna kill everyone, you jackass.
Yeah, exactly. So he wouldn't have anyone to make.
Yes, the guy is literally insane.
Yeah, So I
He's
guess the
still
whole
obsessed with test scores. He's like, how do I get rid of the biggest recess of them all? Summer vacation. I know, I'll cause a global warming.
world is on the line, so I suppose the stakes are high, but the villains look so shit and get mugged off by everyone. It's just kind of naff.
Yeah. Also, as I said global warming, I meant Ice Age.
Oh god, this doesn't look very good.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
I'm looking at it now, and it's just.
Yeah. So my excitement's has gone down a bit from that.
The thing is, though, all I'll say with TV shows, the effect. Look at Stranger Things. The CGI in that isn't the best. It looks like an old Disney film. So
Yeah.
hopefully, it's just a part that isn't the best, but the story and characters resemble Avatar good.
If they honestly, when it comes to making a live action Avatar, they just have to follow the story like to the letter, and they'll have a hit.
Definitely,
Because that's one of the main things of Avatar was its story and characters.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, just follow that and don't deviate, and they'll be fine.
True.
Like,
He's gonna
they've got the
Cusco Academy. His friends are
Ah, yes, Emperor's New Groove.
Help him.
This movie is honestly This movie is really funny.
Go. Probably around here, actually.
Yeah, I'll put it in great.
A good funny road trip.
It's really funny, and Cusco is a good example of redeeming a narcissist.
Yeah. You get why he's the way he is, don't you? Because he's been an emperor his whole bloody life.
He's an emperor, yeah. He's spoiled because he was raised as an emperor, and so he's just become a narcissist. And the journey does a good redeeming narcissist thing, as it especially when he realizes that no one in the kingdom actually seems to be that concerned that he is gone or dead. And yeah,
Kronk was quite funny in it.
Kronk and Yzma are a great comedic duo.
I need to probably go back and watch that one because it was pretty damn funny.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I remember it actually being really good at comedy. Kronk is an amazing character, and like I said, his dynamic with Yzma is honestly they create some of the best jokes in the movie.
Yeah.
And so, Covey, how'd you get back here before us? How did we, Kronk? Don't ask me, but look, if you look at the chart, it doesn't make sense. I do love that joke. But yeah, no, I would put it in great. Yeah, definitely good comedy.
Kronk's New Groove. I really can't remember much about it, man. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's a bit of a forgetful. It's basically just 3 stories with tied together by a very loose thread.
Yeah,
But it's clearly trying to capitalize on the popularity of Kronk as a character, but it's very forgettable and didn't need to happen.
I really can't. I don't have anything to say about that film. Brave. I don't really have much to say about this film, to be honest.
I would put Brave in average. It has some bits that are good, but there's some aspects of Brave where it actually is decent, and then there's parts where it basically just becomes Brother Bear with extra steps.
Yeah.
Basically, a big part of it is the main character Merida basically not wanting to get into an arranged marriage, right?
Oh, okay.
Because basically throughout most of it, she's basically told how to live her whole life by her mom because she's the princess, right? So her mom basically is dictating her entire life, more or less. And so, during this bit of this arranged marriage stuff, she comes across a witch's cottage and decides to ask the witch to cast her a spell. And the spell, she asks for a spell that would change her mother's mind and thus change her fate, right? The witch's spell decides change your mother means I'm going to turn her into a bear.
Yeah.
And from there, the movie basically just becomes a version of Brother Bear once the mother changes. I mean, the hints the mother's going to turn into a bear are there, but the fact the witch's cottage is covered in bear imagery. So the hints are there that the witch is going to turn her into a bear. That said, the the main villain of the movie, Mordu, which is it's just a bear, but it is still kind of intimidating because it is a very big and very angry bear.
Yeah.
And there is actually some lore to Mordu. So throughout the movie, they constantly talk about a story about a kingdom that fell, right? And they say it's like the king gave split his kingdom between his four sons, but the eldest son wanted to rule all of it, and so the kingdom fell into war and eventually fell into ruin. Right. So we get that story throughout the movie. We later find out Mordu is actually the eldest son.
Oh.
He went to the same witch Merida did, and he asked for a spell. He wanted the strength of 10 men, and so he became a bear, which basically he became Mordu. Which throughout the movie they refer to Mordu as the demon bear because his body is covered in scars and he's got like weapons sticking out his back. And basically, he just seems invincible, if that makes sense. Like, literally, weapons break off him when they try and hit him.
No. Bit of a shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now on to... Hopefully this film I have a fair bit to say about. Oh, Brother Bear, fuck's sake.
Yeah, Brother Bear. We were just talking about Brother Bear.
The start was pretty damn good.
The start's good, and then the movie takes a bit of bit more of a comedic side once the main character turns into the bear.
Yeah, you know, they could have wrote such a brilliant scene when he's breaking the news that he killed to Koa, that he killed his mom.
Yeah,
but instead it's Phil. I mean, I love listening to Phil Collins.
I like Phil Collins songs, but for that scene, I wish he had just shut the hell up and let the emotions happen.
I don't get why they had that.
Fucking having him sing about what was being said and how we should feel about it. Like,
Brother Bear, you trusted me and I'll let you down. For God's sake, we want to hear what he's saying.
Give us the. You don't even have to give us the full conversation. Just let us see the faces and hear the occasional line from it. We don't need Phil Collins singing over it. Because I actually I showed a friend. I showed Nick's Brother Bear because she hadn't seen it before, and I did pre-water that. There's one scene where Phil Collins is going to be singing, and you're just going to be wishing for him to shut the hell up. And she's like, I didn't say which scene it was or when it would happen, but we got just it's this scene, isn't it? I was like, yep. This is the scene where, as much as I like Phil Collins singing from Tarzan, it would have been better if he had just shut the hell up here.
Definitely.
Brother Bear 2, it's a worse version of the first one.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the first one, but take away the good part at the beginning when they were humans.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That's basically it. Okay, we have another top one.
Here we go.
How to Train Your Dragon.
You might think I'm absolutely off my rocker, but I'm putting it above Toy Story 2.
Oh, no, I agree with you there 100%. I love the first How to Train Your Dragon. Visually, it's fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Sound-wise, it's also phenomenal. Story-wise and character-wise, it's great. It's all around just a really good movie.
Definitely.
It hits pretty much almost. It hits almost everything perfectly.
Mm-hmm. I do like a certain aspect of it, but it annoys me a little bit how much of the villagers are all just a bunch of Sigmas about killing dragons. They're so obsessed with it. It's a bit for God's sake.
You got to think, for years, the dragons have been raiding their villages for food.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that the dragons are doing it because if they don't, they'll be eaten themselves by the Red Queen. Or Red Death.
Yeah.
The Queen Dragon.
Yeah,
or the one from the nest, yeah. I love, it's another one of those movies that does show, don't tell very well. With the scene when Stoic says to Hiccup, "You're not my son," and you see his face after he closes the door behind him, the realization of what he just said.
Yeah, it was pretty
to his
damn
son,
cold.
but he can't back out now. Because as soon as he slams the door, slams the door behind him, you see he has that double back gas. What the fuck did I just say to my own son?
Yeah, it was pretty messed up.
And also we got the fucking various scenes with Hiccup's flying with Toothless that are visually fucking phenomenal.
Hmm.
Like it's just a good movie.
Hmm.
And I said the soundtrack is also fucking phenomenal.
His bond with Hiccup, Toothless and Hiccup's bond is pretty great. How Astrup warms up to Hiccup is pretty cool as well. How
Yeah,
the whole village start warming up to him when he does so well. And then I
Yeah.
like how when he has to kill one dragon, they're like, all right, you have to kill him now that you've disarmed him. You have to kill him. And then he nearly gets killed by the dragon himself, but Toothless actually rescues him. That was such a brilliant scene.
yeah, I love that bit.
Then
And also,
Stoic kidnaps Toothless.
you know the bit where like Hiccup's trying to show Astrid that Toothless is harmless, and Toothless is doing that through, keeps diving into the water and spinning.
Yeah.
If you notice, Toothless only stops doing that once Astrid says she's sorry to Hiccup.
Yeah.
Once she says she's sorry, he stops, which was like he was doing it for Hiccup as well.
Yeah.
It's like that's again great great writing.
For sure.
And it's just all around a good movie. Like me and my mom watch How to Train Your Dragon like a lot, quite regularly. All right, next up,
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
I would say it's still pretty good. I don't think it's as good as the first, but it is definitely up there.
Let's put it
I
high
just
and
think-
great. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll put it in high grade as well because it is good. I just think the first one is just on a different level.
Yeah, I feel like the second one does its job. Like it expands the universe. There's sad bits like with Stoic dying, and you see Hiccup's mom, and she was really naturally good with dragons as well when you meet her and everything. So it is a pretty good film. And I think I did go and see it in cinema in 2014 as well. That was also one of the last animated films I saw in cinema. Pretty good fun.
Yeah.
I can't really think of much else to say about it. It's just not on the level of the first one.
Yeah.
Bolt.
It's all right. It has cute moments, but it's.
I like how the ending was nearly pretty heartbreaking when you think they both die. That was.
Oh yeah, the ending. Yeah, I agree on that one. Yeah, and also the fucking agent is a heartless bastard.
Yeah, he's just a twat.
She almost died in the fucking fire, which is an awful way to go in itself. It's like imagine I can't imagine what you must be going through, but imagine what this will do for our approval ratings. You fucking bastard.
This person's a child. Come on, you shouldn't be like that with anyone but
and
a
he's
child.
saying that to her mom of all people. It's like her daughter almost died from a fucking fire. And you're there talking about how this will affect your ratings.
Well, and the hamster who's a big fanboy is quite funny.
Oh yeah, the hamster, yeah.
And we all ride for nothing because this train never stops. We make a good team, me and you, we do. Great soundtrack, love it. The film itself, yeah, pretty great. I like it. Enjoy it.
Which movie is this one?
Over the Hedge.
Over the Hedge. Verminator, enough said.
Oh, shit, bro. There we go. Yeah, so,
yep.
On to the next one. No. I've got to be... But yeah, if the Verminator is pretty damn amazing. He's such a brilliant villain.
Yeah.
The
movie is good, but the Verminator definitely elevates it up.
Yeah. He's definitely the best part of the villain side of it.
Also, you got the lines see, this is why I ordered Exterminator, to kill them before they get hurt like this.
Oh, yeah. She was quite funny, to be honest, the villain.
She was as well, yeah.
All three villains are pretty good. Vern the Bear, he's good. The Verminator's good. And whatever her name is, the crazy Karen type lady, she's all right as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, great fun. The Lara Reveal stories, it's done okay in this one. Stella's quite funny when she keeps she threatens to fart at people. That's quite funny. The cat's like, oh, I can't smell, so that's pretty wholesome how they fall in love and stuff.
Yeah.
What else is pretty good? I guess the fight at the end is great when they're all jumping all over the place between the hedges. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Them getting the food, all those operations, those are quite funny. All the chase scenes, the action. The characters themselves are quite funny and fun. Yeah, it's just a great film, I think.
It's a good watch.
I like how what happens, it makes a nuke on the world, like makes a bit of an explosion or a laser beam. That's quite funny.
Oh yeah,
SpongeBob shits his pants. SpongeBob shits his pants.
right.
Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
So the first
I'm
SpongeBob movie, I think it's good, but I feel like it would have been better if it was actually like the end of the show. You know what I mean? 'Cause it
Oh.
would have brought SpongeBob's story full circle.
Yeah, how he wanted to be the gaffer and everything, and love work so much.
Yeah.
A part of me, I mean, I'm watching SpongeBob season 1 to 3, and it's so, especially season 2.
Season
so
1 to
bloody
3 of
amazing.
SpongeBob was honestly goated.
Yeah, I'm absolutely.
And like I
loving
said,
it.
if it had been season 1 to 3 of SpongeBob and then the movie, SpongeBob would probably still be one of the top cartoons of all time. Like it would have fucking cemented itself. But because
Yeah,
it
sure.
kept going, because the movie was literally like the perfect ending for SpongeBob,
Definitely, man.
for like the story and everything. Like, but instead they kept going because SpongeBob is the most popular show on Nick. That's one of the things of Nicktoons is they basically gauge every show they have off SpongeBob. Like, is it doing the same numbers as SpongeBob? No. All right, it only gets one season, then it's out.
Bit of a bloody shame.
Yeah, like it's because SpongeBob's like their most popular show. Which okay, I get that, but they're literally like comparing every other show they do to SpongeBob. And if and if that show is somehow not pulling in the same numbers as SpongeBob, they can it.
Yeah,
And
but
it's like,
I just wanted to briefly say, if it's just the film on its own, I'd say it's low end good or high end average. But the film and the movie, if it had been the end, I'd put it probably in great, as you mentioned.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if SpongeBob had just been the first 3 seasons and then the movie, it would probably be much higher.
The only kind of sad thing is we don't get much of the other characters in it. We hardly get much of Sandy. It makes sense for the plot that it's just SpongeBob and Patrick.
It does make sense for the plot, yeah.
And doesn't Squidward? They offer Squidward to go, but he goes no and just walks off. Mr. Krabs would die, and he's just like, "No, I'm not coming, lads." Brilliant. That is a Squidward thing to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it was pretty damn good. I like.
Also, we get the "Now That We're Men" song, which is
that's quite iconic and funny. Scarlett Johansson does a good job. King Neptune.
Yeah.
I would have preferred if they kept the original design for him. And even the original voice actor, that would have been quite cool because it's more intimidating. But I guess this had to be more comedic and silly.
Yeah.
Kids.
But I'd say top of good for a SpongeBob movie. Plus, it would be great if it had actually stopped after the movie.
And the thing is, Plankton finally gets the win, doesn't he? Finally just plans.
Yeah, Plankton actually wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got to use the same rules here that we were using with Toy Story 3 of if it stayed as the end, if it was the ending and stayed the ending, it would be higher, but because it kept going, it brings the power down.
Yeah.
So the same rule probably applies here with SpongeBob, like where the score would probably go up if the show had actually ended here.
Yeah, exactly. But I like the very ending as well. I'm a goofy goober. Wow.
Yeah, that bit, yeah.
That was so brilliant, man.
That bit was pretty good, yeah.
SpongeBob the movie 2, nope.
I have not seen it.
It's not very good. It's just boring. They go on land and they're all superheroes, and it's all. I like how they've got more characters involved in this one, but it doesn't feel like the end of a part of the show, or that they're coming to the end of the show. It just sort of feels like a cash grab. Not very good. Boring. B movie. I'd say high end bad. It's quite memeable and funny.
It's mostly memes that carry this movie.
You like jazz?
It's like also the fucking Patrick Warburton's character being the only sane person in the movie, who's calling out this BS with this B.
Yeah, he's quite.
And also, he got fucking
ruining my life.
He got fucking cooked by a bee.
That was hilarious.
I
still love the idea that his girlfriend cheated on him with a fucking bee.
But how? I don't get how they. I don't get how the bee and her would.
I don't think we're supposed to ask questions on that front.
I don't know how they'd have much fun with each other without him getting squashed or whatever.
Yeah, I said I don't think we're supposed to ask questions about it.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to said like this, the idea of like he's the only sane person in the movie. He's like, why are we doing all this with a bee? It's a fucking bee.
I love the bit where another good meme bit is like when he goes, when that fat bloke gets stung and he's like, "Oh, I am hit! I am hit!
Oh, I am hit!"
Yeah, that's such a memeable thing. I've meme that alone. I put like X person when this happens. Oh, you know, it's just so brilliant.
Indeed.
And Ray Liotta makes fun of himself in it, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
Flushed Away. Ian McKellen Frog's quite funny. The Secret Agent Frogs are quite funny. I'd say probably around here, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Rita and Rodney bounce off
Has
each
a
other
few
quite
decent jokes, yeah.
well. The stakes are pretty high. I like how he gets flushed down the talk when he keeps saying to that one rat, he's like,
Yeah,
"Jacuzzi."
yeah.
I love when he's like, "When the cat's away, the mice will play," and he's like having a laugh and all that jazz.
Yeah.
The first car, probably around
It's
here.
all right. Yeah, I'll say bottom of good.
Decent fun. It's just your typical famous person.
It's like the Emperor's New Groove of it's redeeming a narcissist
Yeah,
as
he
its primary thing.
He gets chucked into a simple life, and
Yeah,
he's stuck in this town for a bit, and he has to learn to be humble.
I do love that McQueen doesn't win the race at the end, and he chooses to help the guy that crashed finish their last race instead.
And everyone respects him so much for doing that.
Yeah, like, I actually
good
really like
good jigger.
Yeah, because that's to see that like shows McQueen's like journey going full circle. Like, if he had won the last race, I feel like it would have depowered his journey up to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ka-chow. The tracks are lit. I love how unenthusiastically he gives that speech to all the all the rusty cars.
I don't need headlights because the track is always lit. Yeah. Also, I saw Cars 2. We already know where tier that one's going in. This is probably one of the few movies in Pixar I'd say it's actually just straight bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, very tempted to use the whale poop tier here for this one.
I mean, yeah, it's more offensively bad than like. I don't mean offensive as in like it's actually offending people. I mean like it's just like offensive for films itself. Like it's really just bloody rubbish.
Like this is probably the only movie in Pixar's lineup where I would say it's actually just straight bad.
Yeah,
because I said it earlier. It's like most of Pixar's like worst is still better than most studios' best. Cars 2 is the exception.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we will have any films that are in worst of all time, unfortunately. Should we just put this there for the meme banter meme? It is pretty bloody awful.
I mean, we've still got open season coming up.
Shit, yeah.
We still have open season coming up.
Let's see how we feel. Let's see
how it was. All right, Rango.
Oh, bro, I love this one, man.
I love this movie as well.
Absolutely slap. Probably around here, to be honest. I really do think it slaps. I like how he's so like isolated from everything at the start, then gets knocked out his owner's truck, and then he's stuck in the real scary desert, and he puts on a fake cowboy accent for the whole film, and he goes to this village and pretends to be someone he's not, and all this jazz, and they all think he's cool. Then they all realise he's full of shit when that snake comes up to him, and then
rattlesnake Jake.
Yeah, he's really
Jake is actually really fucking intimidating as well.
Yeah. The size, the hissing, the gun.
Also, I love that they made his rattle a fucking minigun.
Yeah. And I love how at the end he does grow some balls, Rango, and he's like, "You ain't got the guts," and he's like, "Try me."
Try me.
That was so cool.
That scene was fucking great.
I love, and the thing is, he beats Jake by outsmarting him with.
He outsmarts Jake. Also, I love the bit at the end where like Jake's like, I tip my hat to one legend to another. It's like he now like respects like Rango.
And he takes that horrible tortoise mayor.
Yeah,
away.
he takes the mayor.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Great fun film. I like the bit where the Clint Eastwood character comes in and he's like, "Oh, well, you got to do this."
It's literally Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. That wasn't too bad. Yeah, amazing fun film. Highly recommend. I might try and go back and watch that one day.
Yeah.
Like you.
Gotta be honest, I haven't watched it.
I'd say it's high end bad. They had a chance here to make something like brilliant. Like that, I would have. Like, basically, you right if I spoil some of the film?
Go for it. I don't plan to watch it.
But
I've not heard great things.
Basically, it's sort of like it starts off interesting. Like they fly to this planet and like they build a civilization to leave this planet and stuff. But then Buzz is trying to get to like a super speed and he keeps missing his friends' lives and stuff, like the friends on this planet. And instead of just accepting that he can't get to supersonic speed, in this ship. He just sort of is. He just keeps trying, and he misses his friends' lives. It's pretty depressing and stupid. And then also, I think Chris Evans as the voice actor is a bit weird. It doesn't.
Yeah,
I just keep.
I did hear that
America.
Zurg is like a future Buzz, so I feel like
That
they
was a
could have
shit
been
twist.
they could have done something interesting with that, but didn't.
I found that to be a bit of a naff twist personally. But,
That's what I mean. Like they could have done something interesting with it, but clearly they didn't by the fact that by that reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. What else is crap?
But also,
about?
they already had a thing for Zurg's character from Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
You know what Zurg was like from that movie.
I guess the Tom Hanks cat was okay.
Yep.
Not the best.
Oh, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Bro.
Yep, I agree. Go. This movie is honestly fucking incredible.
Yeah, it created a new animation style, which is really hard to do.
I would honestly say, and this, some people might say this is a hot take. I think this is honestly the best Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I agree. Well, actually, no, it's the second best Spider-Man film. Number one will be. I don't know if you'll agree that the next thing on here is the best Spider-Man film. But,
Across the Spider-Verse. Actually, you might be right. Yeah. Either way, the Spider-Verse movies are currently the best two, easily.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
But yeah, I think Miles is an amazing character. I love the twist where his uncle's actually working for.
His uncle is Prowler.
Yeah, but what's that big dude's name? I can't remember his name
Kingpin.
now. That's it. Yeah.
One thing I love, and this is something a friend pointed out to me, is Kingpin is so big they don't even show him getting out of the car. They just cut the next scene. He's out of a car and he's out of the car because they can't draw him getting out naturally. He's too big.
Yeah. But I love the Peter Parker. I love how Peter Parker dies at first, and then Miles takes over the role. I love how the new Peter Parker comes and teaches him stuff. I love the swinging scenes. I love the fight scenes. The ending's brilliant. How he sort of gets to the next universe, but then he's like, his family like disgusted by him. Like, what's this dude doing? And then he's like, oh, there you go then. And then I honestly felt so sad at the end because I'm like, oh man, he's not going to see his other friends again. He's not going to see Gwen and the noir Spider-Man and the Porky Pig Spider-Man. Quite a shame.
Yeah.
But obviously we know that he does see them again.
Yep. Yeah. And I obviously I saw we have Across the Spider-Verse, so let's get discussing.
Yeah. Bro.
I feel like this one actually is above Spider-Verse 1 there, so let's just
some people do say Spider-Verse 1 is that bit better because Peter Parker's utilised more. He's not just like he's a joke in this one.
They both have they both have elements that put them above each other. It just comes down to which ones do you like more. But they're pretty neck and neck for the most part.
I like these elements better, man. I love how Miguel O'Hara is like ripping into him, saying, "You weren't meant to be Spider-Man for."
Yeah,
and then he just mugs them all
You're
off.
the first anomaly.
Yeah, and then he just mugs them all
If you had it become Spider-Man, your universe's Peter Parker would still be alive.
Yeah, but I also just love
when we get the reveal that in the universe where the spider that bit Miles came from, Miles is the Prowler in that universe. But it's not just what I like about that reveal. It's not even just the reveal that Miles is the Prowler. It's like no, Miles was always meant to be the Prowler.
Yeah.
Because if you look at things of our Miles with his uncle was training him to take over as being Prowler as well.
Mm-hmm.
So our Miles is literally an anomaly because our Miles was always meant to be Prowler.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool reveal. Also, Spot is an example of how to take a villain who seems like a joke of the week and turn them into a legit threat by the end of the movie.
But yeah, I was going to say I love the chasing in it. I love how there's two big villains as well. Such an amazing cliffhanger because I was like, genuinely when I was watching it at one of my mates' houses. I was watching it at GC's house, and when it ended, I was like, for fuck's sake! I was so annoyed. I was so gutted that we weren't able to see the next bit, but we just got to wait.
Yeah, I do love the ending. You've got like Gwen, you've got the two of the Spider-Men we met that are quite cool, and you got the original crew. All of them ready to go help Miles. It's like, yes. I can't wait for the next one, to be honest. I want to see how this ends.
And I like how there was one little confusing bit though, because it's all about their canon and what they have to lose someone to become stronger.
Yeah, canon events, yeah.
But Miles already had that like twice because he lost Peter Parker and then he lost his uncle. So I don't get why he needs another canon event. That's a bit weird.
But remember, Miles is an anomaly.
Yeah,
But also,
I-
I wouldn't say Miles was close to Peter Parker. It's just he inherited like the role of
but
Spider-Man.
he was still
from
sad
him.
when he died, wasn't he?
Kind of, yeah, but I don't think they were necessarily close. But obviously, Uncle Aaron was Miles's Uncle Ben canon event,
Yeah,
and we know that in the other canon event is the police chief dying, who's close to Spider-Man,
It's gonna
and
be
well,
sad.
Miles's dad is the police chief.
But it's so smart that Gwen's dad quit the police. He's like, I don't want to do
Yeah,
this
which
anymore.
means her canon event changed,
Yeah.
which means which means Miles could as well.
Mhm. Now,
Happy Feet.
uh,
Honestly, I forget
really,
this movie.
I'm really stuck between high end bad or low end average.
I
You know what? I don't mind it. I'd watch it if I had to. I would watch it again. So I'll put it in low end average.
watched it like twice and I forgot it each time.
Yeah, I suppose that is basically the main analysis with it. It is just a weird, forgettable film. The animation's quite appealing, in my opinion. It does look a bit weird, but I like it. The story sort of starts off as Mumble's trying to fit in, and then they're trying to sort out the fish shortage, from what I remember, because all the humans are catching all the fish.
Yeah.
And Mumble ends up washing on shore in America or somewhere, I don't know where. And then, there's some good action with the whales trying to eat people. Eat Mumble and his penguin mates.
Yeah, the orcas.
His penguin squad's pretty cool, I guess. Like the little penguins. It's all right. It's decent fun. I like how he ends up solving everything by using his unique talent of dancing. He can't sing, but he can dance pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit of a boring, nothing film.
Yeah. Like I said, I've got a pretty good memory, so if I forget about your movie, that shows how average it is.
Very true. Finding Nemo, I will probably around here.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's decent fun. The characters are good. It's a fun little adventure.
I like that the journey for the dad is he's got to learn to like let his son experience things.
Yeah. But you get why he's so anxious, because he lost all his kids and wife.
Yeah.
Creature at the start.
But also, like, I like that the son also kind of has to learn that there's also like a limit to what you can do.
Yeah, there's big consequences for little fishes in big oceans.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yes, the greatest film of all time. Why are you setting out good ideas? No, it's just it's pretty. I'd probably put it high end average. It's quite.
I thought it was going to go into GOAT just because of Aunt Fanny.
Oh shit. Oh, that would have been a way better point. Yeah, I mean, she was Fanny. Why are you doing that? Why are you talking to her? And he's like, oh, well, I'm an old guy and she's got a pretty big... No, I mean...
Yeah.
That was a legendary scene.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, Big World's a legend. Aunt Fanny's a legend. Ewan McGregor robot's okay. Robin Williams isn't at his best here, but he's doing his best with what he's given. It's just a decent average film about, like...
Yeah, it's an average film.
Really big robot business. Like, the robot goes from the little town to the big city and stops this evil business from fucking the robots over.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. Let's fucking go.
I can't really remember. Where would you put it? I can't really remember.
I would actually put it in the amazing tier, funny enough. It's a very dark movie, especially by Disney standards.
Thing is,
but if you haven't seen it recently, I can imagine I can imagine that. You probably don't remember a lot of stuff, but it is actually very good.
I watched it a fair bit as a kid, and it was a bit sad. I just remember thinking, they're so mean to him, but Frodo could have killed him at the start, but he chooses not to. I like how he didn't get with the woman in the end, that Knight did, and because all he really wanted was to just be accepted by the people.
Yeah. But especially the fact with there's a Frollo, I think Frollo's probably one of Disney's best villains, just because he's the most human villain.
Yeah.
Like, there are people like him in the world, and we know there are people like him in the world.
Yeah, he was just such... And the thing is, he knew that he was just a bit of a perverted slob, but, like, he just didn't care.
But also, he fucking gaslight the hell out of Quasimodo, like, to believe that he was deformed, and that the world would, like, despise him for it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, I mean, like the 4 minutes into the movie's already on baby drowning.
Yeah, that is pretty dark.
That's,
I'll put it-
this movie is dark.
Well, it's not my personal favorite. I might go back and watch it again. I'll keep it in low end amazing because I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can remember bits and pieces. Frollo was a good villain. The way he died was quite interesting as well. How it's all like lava at the bottom of the church, and then it's like he's fallen into hell. You know,
Yeah, I do like that.
that's pretty
The
poetic.
symbolism, yeah. Open season. Oh boy.
I mean, I do really like the start. Honestly, I won't lie. I do really enjoy the start when he's like titting around and trying to have some fun, and he's going woo in the shop with Elliot.
Yeah.
But then when he goes into the wild,
I would say, I'd say I don't want to say it's trash. I would definitely put it at the bottom of bad because it has some moments that are dumb fun, but it is not a great movie.
Sean's a good villain though. The hunter is just basically the first 20 minutes before he gets chucked into the forest is good. Then everything else is just bad, apart from the villain. And I guess it's nice. The end fight is kind of fun, I guess. But the sequence where they knock down the beaver, then that's quite fun. But overall, it's just I really don't think it's just bad, man. It's just overall, it's just not that good. Most of it's just boring, shitty poo jokes, but not funny poo jokes, bad poo jokes.
Yeah.
Not that good, man. Not that good.
No, it's not.
This was so weird.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Honestly, it was just.
I would put the third one there too. I actually have seen the third one. I completely don't even remember that movie.
It was just some weird circus nonsense with some tall alpaca and Boog finds love, and it was just all. I don't get why there were sequels. They should have ended it with the first one, man. It was just rubbish. Definitely one of the worst animated trilogy ever because they don't usually do sequels to horrendous animated films.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this probably around here.
Oh, which one's that one?
The Wild. There's some cool scenes.
Yeah. No, that one's fair where that is.
The giraffe sits on the squirrel, which is pretty cool. The lady giraffe.
Yeah.
The hippo tries to sit on one of the lines. That's pretty cool. I think Ricky Gervais is the koala. He's quite funny. I can't really remember it that well, to be honest. Isn't it a bit like Madagascar, but quite boring and not that
funny? It's basically worse Madagascar.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen Tintin?
I have not.
Bro, this film absolutely... You should watch this one when you get a chance. Absolutely slaps. Probably here. I can't put it... no, I'm going to put it here. Because there's some brilliant things in it, man.
Yeah.
The film's basically about Tintin trying to find this old lost treasure, and he meets this drunk bloke called Captain Haddock along the way. The comedy's not the best, but they have this one sequence that's a really long tank chase, and they animate it all in one shot, and it's honestly like one of the maddest shots I've ever seen in any film. I don't get how they continuously animated it without cutting the inside animation camera. Like they didn't do any cuts with the animation. It looked like one long shot. It was brilliant. The villain's okay. There's some good adult things in it, like there's guns in it, there's people getting shot, but it's done in a kid-friendly way. The animation, while it doesn't look the best now, I like the effort that went into it. It was all motion capture, which was pretty cool. The ending's pretty okay. The bit where they're in the desert's cool. The backstory for the lost treasures are pretty interesting. They're actually doing a sequel in 2027, which is quite interesting. I can't think of many animated films where there's like a 16-year gap between sequels.
Yeah, that is actually pretty interesting.
Especially in this modern day. But yeah, amazing film. Highly recommend. You should check that one out, bro. Bender's Big Score.
Okay. Bender's Big Score. I'm trying to remember which Futurama movie that one. Was that the one where...
The first one, when they're like, we're back on the air. Yippee.
Oh, that one. Is that the one with the weird,
nude, the nude eye.
Nude, okay, yeah, the nudist guy. Okay, yeah, that is the one I'm thinking of then. Yeah, it's all right.
I think it's quite amazing, man. I like the theme of Fry having to let go of Leela, you know, when he has to let go of the whale. That was pretty amazing and a good lesson to teach people. Even though he actually was Lars, he was Leela's love in the future.
Yeah,
So
he was Lars.
there's some interesting time travel stuff. Lars sadly has to sacrifice himself at the end because every single copy dies basically. Like if you have it creates a time paradox and they die at some point. Hermes getting his head cut off was quite funny and being stuck on backwards. That made me laugh. It felt like it was like the end of Futurama, and it would have been a good finale. It felt quite epic and grand.
Futurama's had multiple endings because the show keeps getting like pulled and like put back on air.
Yeah, I think Meanwhile was by far the best ending, the best way to end the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new season's kind of good.
I haven't actually seen the new season yet.
It's worth a watch. There's a couple duds here and there. The fans really don't like it, but I think it's mostly either decent or good. But there are a few bad duds.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bender's Big Score absolutely utterly slaps. I do enjoy it quite a bit. Definitely the best like if you combine, like as a film, it's probably the best thing Futurama's done if you combine the 4 episodes. The episodes on their own aren't like as good, but when you combine them, they tell a pretty amazing story.
Yeah.
Beast with a Billion Backs.
I remember this one.
Probably high end bad, or
yeah, high end bad. It's all right.
Like the thing is with it, it's the tentacles are just disgusting, and I feel like
the tentacles were genitalia.
Yeah, it's just a bit strange, really, and like the Yivo can like generate loads of stuff to make all the characters happy when she takes them into her.
Yivo's basically like a god.
I was
quite
really
literally.
Annoyed. Yeah, I was quite annoyed that what's his name? That Amy cheated on Kif with Zap. That was really annoying.
Yeah.
I know he died, but that was really annoying. Made her just look like a complete stupid slag. That was quite bad. And Kif's a good bloke. He didn't deserve that at all. What else was daft? I guess Fry getting in that relationship with that woman who had like 4 partners was a bit strange.
Yeah, the woman who was very clearly sleeping around with so many guys.
Yeah, but yet she ends up going off with Evo, which was really weird.
Yeah.
Bender trying to kill all the humans was odd, and then he wants to get I know he's evil, but like it seemed like a bit too far for him. Then he wants to get the humans back on Earth, which is strange. Really weird, man.
Yeah.
Bender's game, I guess, kind of good. I like when they're actually in Bender's game, but all the stuff before that is like a bit hit and miss. When Bender's going mad, being obsessed with like the Dungeons and Dragons type game, that was a bit weird.
Yeah,
I guess the bits where they are in Bender's.
This was basically just Futurama's D&D episode.
Yeah, exactly. Into Green Yonder. This was meant to be one of the endings, and I suppose the very final episode was cool. I like how it leaves it open, like they go in, they all get sucked into that portal and get like shot somewhere where we don't know. But in reality, they get shot back to Earth, which we see when the Nimbus crashes onto all of them and they somehow survive. All the main characters conveniently survive. Yeah, I mean it's probably around the same level as Bender's game. I prefer it, but I think Bender's game is a bit stronger as a whole. Have you got anything you want to say about those other films? Because
no, not really.
Okay, fair enough. The Simpsons film, as you mentioned, with all the other stuff, they should have really ended it with the Simpsons.
Yeah, if they had ended it here, it'd probably be higher.
I'd probably put it around here. It's overall good fun. They should have ended it there. I remember seeing it in the cinema. Good fun, enjoyed it. Spider Pig was kind of funny. I like how they come back to save Springfield. It shows that deep down they do care about their hometown, even though their hometown was being pretty horrible to them. Spirited Away. I actually watched this the other week, and bro,
Spirited Away,
absolutely bloody amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Spirited Away is good.
As much as I love The Incredibles, I have to put it third, man.
Yep, I agree to that.
It's so like
correct, Spirited Away is a Studio Ghibli movie and an anime movie.
Yeah.
And as a gateway into anime, it's actually a great place to start, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a bit of anime before. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was younger, a fair bit of My Hero. What else have I seen? That's about it, really. I want to probably watch a few more anime films. I don't really have the time to watch a show yet. I just can't really be bothered. But I did thoroughly enjoy this film. I thought the imagery was amazing, the art design, the characters. The way they talked was a bit odd, but you got to remember they're saying the stuff. You know, like different languages, they put the words in English for different languages are put in different places. So the dub is going to sound a little bit weird because they have to copy the Japanese to a T when they translate it to English. So, but it didn't take me out of it. I just thought that was a bit of a weird line. The characters are good, the story's good. I love the twist where the what's his name? There's like you find out that bloke's the lake spirit. That was pretty cool.
Haku, yeah.
That's it. I liked how the witch's sister, even though you think she's pretty bad for turning people into different things.
Yeah, it turns out she's actually really nice.
Yeah, she's the good twin. I like how she keeps that big monster bloke with her. That faceless monster, whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, No Face.
Yeah.
But I believe it's actually it has a Gravity Falls reference, as in like there's a reference to him in Gravity Falls.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you remember the Summerween trickster?
Oh, is that meant to be him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The one who kept it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a reference to No Face.
That's pretty cool. What else was great about it? I mean, the stakes are pretty high. Like, she's on her own. She can't get back to the real world without her parents, really. And I love the twist at the end when the witch is like, okay, guess which pigs are your parents? And everyone's rooting for everyone's on her side after she's earned her way at the spirit spa.
Yeah.
And then
she earned the respect of the people in the spa, yeah, considering they were a very anti-human when she got there.
Yeah. And then in the end, she says none of them are. And then everyone's like, way! It shows that she really did love her parents. And then it just ends really nicely. I'm glad they didn't do a sequel. Story's nicely wrapped up there. Fun little adventure. Amazing.
I need to watch some more Studio Ghibli movies because they're actually all pretty well.
You know, you actually can't film inside the studio when you can do tours in Japan. How cool is that?
Oh, cool.
Really keeping their inside tour secret. I really respect that.
Yeah.
And it makes the journey more worthwhile. Like if you go and visit Japan,
it does.
Film in there. It's like you have to remember everything there and then. It's so cool, man.
Yep.
And we've already done these two, so I won't do them again.
Yeah, so why are they at the end of the list again?
I think I just sort of thought, have I forgot these right at the end? But fortunately, I didn't forget them.
All right,
so yeah,
now it'll be interesting to see who agrees with the tier list.
Anyone who gets to this point, or usually this is what I do with tier list, I always fast forward to the end to see where everything came, and then think, why did they put this here? Then skip to the bit where that film is, and think,
I tend to do that as well.
That's why they put this film here. Interesting. That's sort of what I do. But this is the list. I'll give you anyone who gets this point in the video. I'll give you a bit of time to gander at everything.
Yeah,
I think
if you decide to go back and listen to our discussions on each one, let us know if you agreed and didn't agree with our choices. But I'm pretty confident in our GOAT section. Like I'm pretty confident in the ones we have there.
I think you might get a few people saying, "Oh, what Across the Spider-Verse isn't as good as the first one," but they're so close to each other. I feel like
they are so close. Like they're both, I think, equally good, and each one has like at least one element it has slightly above the other. So it just comes down to which one you like more.
Yeah,
but
I feel like
for the most part, I'm pretty sure they're pretty much equal.
Yeah, I feel like we might get a few poncy people who are like, "Oh, well, why is Kung Fu Panda above Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 1? And what's Megamind doing above Toy Story 1? What's wrong with?" And we might get a few annoyed people at Atlantis.
They'll probably get like that one person who's like, Open Season is the GOAT of all time. There's always one. Well, look for it. There's always one.
Yeah. There's going to be one saying, "Oh, the first episode was good." You know.
Yeah.
They might be like, "Oh, why didn't you put the Disney Renaissance films you had in here higher?" Because we didn't. It's our opinion on this.
It's like a lot of the movies in the good and like great and amazing tiers and all that. They're all equally good. It's just we prefer some of them over others.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of it, is all personal preference.
What? But yeah, I think they'll mostly agree with the bad section.
Yeah. You have to
mostly agree with average.
0 regard of quality to not agree with the bad section here.
Yeah.
There's some stinkers in there.
And you're going to have people saying, "Oh, the Pixar Renaissance, they all need to be in GOAT. What's your guys' problem?" You know.
Yeah, the usual.
So there'll be a few Pixar lovers who probably get annoyed at this. But bro, how boring would it be if we just put all the Pixar stuff and then these three at the best?
Yeah, this keeps people guessing.
Yeah, I feel like this is an interesting list full of variety.
Definitely.
And
As I said, Pixar's quality is insane. So if we did it like mix it up somewhat, they literally would just be dominating the list.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, even with us like trying to mix it up, they still dominate the most of the list.
Yeah, I mean they've got 1, 2, 3 in GOAT. They've got 1, 2, 3 in Amazing, and then they've got a fair few in Great.
Yep.
They got these 3 in Great. So it's not that bad. There's hardly any Pixar films in apart from this. There's none. I mean, look at how many DreamWorks ones are in bad. You got this one.
It's like I said, DreamWorks are very hit and miss. When they hit, they have a hit, but when they miss, they have a fucking miss.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the list. Then I'll give one last little go over here. Here you go. This is the bottom bit. And then this is the top bit. Maybe down the line we might do another list once I've watched a few more animated films or watched.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a version of this, but with the ones that we either haven't seen or didn't put on this list.
Yeah. I will try and watch like the Lego Movie 2, Kung Fu Panda 3, Kung Fu. I will try and get through some films, but it'll probably be over the next few years. It won't be like next month or anything.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, please check out Scott's Twitch, Blue Falcon 375. There's a lot of, there's a good variety of games that you obviously play on there. It's not just your typical Call of Duty and Fortnite. There is a lot of fun, interesting games on there that you'll basically give anything a go, won't you? So
more or less, yeah.
If you enjoyed this podcast, give a like and subscribe. I guess I never usually ask that, but I thought as I'm shouting out your channel, I might as well give ALP a bit of a rub on the head. But yeah, check out Scott's Twitch. And Scott, thank you for giving up 3 hours of your time, man. I enjoyed your opinions and the discussion.
Yep, no worries. It was fun. And
well,
if any of you guys decide you want to grill me about my choices on Twitch, welcome.
But yeah, we'll end that one nice. Have you got anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No.
Well, we'll end that one there then. Thank you. Well, that's all I've got to say for today. Cheers for anyone who watched. Take care. All the best. See you.
Yep. See ya.
Glorious. Big